Hey guys, look, we're actually almost done. We only have 3 little nodes left to go. That's not too bad. You know, more than halfway done. With only 3 left, it's not like there's 54 nodes. Jesus Christ. Oh my lord. So this was the primary complaint of this chapter. Spoiler alert, this is my favorite chapter. However, this has the worst pacing in the entire game, because every time you see drones and abnormalities, drones and abnormalities 2, drones and abnormalities 3. Oh, that's 3 junk fights. Terrorist organization 2, decay ampules 2, decay ampules 3. Every time you see a 2 or 3, that means it's just wasting your time. So this is the first time, and probably the only time, because Chapter 5 doesn't even have this problem, where we're just gonna skip some nodes. Because the biggest problem with this chapter is its pacing. And let me tell you, because now that I've beaten this chapter, I can fix it. You can fix the pacing of this by just cutting off some of the nodes. So I'm going to. Off the bus. We have had our chicken, and now it is time to kill. Honestly, by the time we get to the end of this, we're probably going to have another intervallo.
우리는 야심가도 탐욕가도 아니며 그저 기술을 사랑했던 아이에 불과했지. 처음으로 우리가 숨을 쉰다고 느꼈던 그날을 기억하오? 그때는 말일세. 그 숨만으로도 충분했었어. 아님 유독. 그날만 공기가 맑았거나. 시계를 돌려야 할 시간이요.
이번엔 어디를 가는 건가요?
The fun fact, it's never actually explicitly stated, but this is meant to be taking like weeks to months as a journey in between each of these districts. Like, the characters in some of the side cutscenes just directly make reference to the fact that, yeah, the last chapter came out months ago, and so it took them months to get to the next one. The city is really, really big. Plus, Charon probably got lost.
아니요. 이번 작전의 시작점은 장소가 아니라 사람입니다.
사람이라 하였소?
의뢰인이 계시거든요.
그건 저희가 해결사 사무소처럼
I mean,
외부로부터 의뢰까지 받는다는
We
소리예요?
just took a request. A chicken request.
벌써부터 의뢰가 몰아치고 있는 겐가? 훌륭하군. 곧 이름 날리는 해결사가 되어버릴지도 모르겠어.
조용. 질문에 대한 대답은 내가 한다. 너희도 알다시피 황금가지라는 존재는 비교적 최근에 발견된 개념이다. 다행스럽게도 일전에 거쳐온 제2사나 D사는 황금가지에 특별한 관심을 두지 않았어. 그래서 뒷골목의 잡배들이 어슬렁거리거나 변변치 않은 것들이 조직을 만들어 점령하곤 했지. 하지만 일찌감치 황금가지의 존재를 눈치채기도 한 날개도 있지. 지금 우리가 있는 K사처럼.
하지만 K사에 있었던 황금가지는 우리가 이미 얻은 거 아니었어?
하나의 날개에 하나의 황금가지만 존재한다고 한
Oh
적.
yeah, some districts have multiple Lobco branches.
로보토미 지부는 우리의 생각보다 복잡하다. 말 그대로 가지처럼 곳곳에 뻗어 있지.
저희 집 지하실과 연결되어 있던 것처럼 말이죠.
황금가지에 대한 소유권은 아직까지 명확히 정의된 바가 없다. 그렇기 때문에 황금가지를 최초로 발견한 자에게 소유권이 넘어간다라는 원시적인 규칙을 적용하고 있을 뿐이고.
뭐 잠들어 있는 보물은 원래 먼저 찜한 사람이 가지는 거니까.
그래서 황금가지 소유권을 조건으로 의뢰를 받았다는 소린가?
정확히는 그쪽에서 거래를 제안해 온 거지. 우리로서는 황금가지가 걸려있는 의뢰인이만큼 선택의 여지는
네, 없었겠네요.
그러니 이 얘기를 언제까지 반복해야 할지 모르겠지만 의뢰인에게 밉보일 행동은 하지 말도록. 자, 그럼 목적지에 도착할 때까지 닥치고 있도록 늘 하던 대로 말이야.
단테 씨가 무언가를 말하려는 것 같았어요.
미안하게 됐습니다, 딴테. 째깍거리는 것에 일일이 반응해 준다는 게 여간 익숙한 일은 아니니까 말입니다.
그가 황금가지의 쓰임새에 대해 묻고 있군요.
허허, 드디어 반출하는 것을 하는 겁니까, 관리자 딴테. 회사의 행보에 호기심을 다 가지시다니. 그렇다면 이 길잡이도 친절한 설명을 통해 관리를 도와야만 하겠군요. 황금가지라는 건 말 그대로 가지입니다. 줄기에서 뻗어나가고자 하는 부분이 있다면 그것을 가지라고 부르지요. 그리고
Thank
그
you,
가지는
Vergilius.
황금색으로 빛나죠.
오, 과연
베르, 길이 막혔어. 돌아가야 해.
막혔다고요? 막다른 길은 이상한데요. 더군다나 K사 둥지 한복판에 뭔가 소동이 생길 일이 있을.
방금 버스에 부딪혀서 튕겨져 나간 거 사람이었지?
40대 초반으로 보이는 남성. 후두부에 큰 손상을 입은 것 같군. 부딪히기 전부터 죽어 있었다.
그래, 단순한 소동은 아닌 듯하군. 내려 해결할 수 있는 문제라면 해결한 후 다시 돌아오고,
그럴 수 있는 문제가 아니라면?
해결이 될 때까지 끊임없이 시계가 돌려지겠지.
그럼 전원 하차. 왜? 어차피 이렇게 말할 거 아니었어? 다시 말해준 거잖아.
기대되네요. 이번엔 또 어떤 모험이 우리를 기다리고 있을까요?
It's adventure time, Dealus. Adventure's a strong word, but it's adventure time. Oh boy, speaking of adventure, we're actually gonna, once this cutscene's over, someone gets to pick the team gimmick. Oh boy. We get to decide on something new. We've done base IVDs, we did whatever lag picked because he's ignorant, we did bad poise, we did a brief N-Corp stint.
예상치 못한 소동과는 거리가 제일 멀어야 할 장소죠.
아, 그렇다는 건 진귀한 소동이라는 뜻인가요?
저기로 가면 안 돼요. 자자, 안심하시오. 우리는 그대들을 지키기 위해 달려온.
영웅 같은 건 아니니까 쓸데없는 말은 하지 마시죠.
어이, 우린 저 앞으로 가야 돼. 별것도 아닌 걸로 멈춰 세운 거면 몽둥이 찜질 당할 줄 알아라.
있어서는 안 될 곳이 뭔지는 모르겠어요. 처음 보는 것이 다들 소리 지르면서 도망치다가 사람들이 나뒹굴고 불에 타고.
앞에 있던 것이 인간의 형태가 아니었나?
네, 맞아요. 맞아요.
사람이 아닌 곳이라면
이게 어떻게 된 일이죠?
Hey, look what we got here.
뒤틀림인지 뭔지일 수도 있는 거 아니야? 치킨집처럼.
So yeah, confirmed. Chicken's canon. See, look at that. We didn't even know about that at the time. They had to bring up the chicken area real early on just to let people
단테시가
know it was
말씀하신
canon.
대로 환상체일 확률이 높습니다. 관리자는 느낄 수 있으니까요.
It's not Vor if they're the same entity.
파우스트도 보고 받아본 적 없는
It's called
현상이네요.
auto-cannibalism.
대부분의 로보토미 지부들은 몰락과 동시에 지부 폐쇄를 진행했어요. 설사 그 사이에 환상체가 탈출을 했더라도 적어도 이번 작전 직전에는
No.
보고가 있었어야 타당해요.
Okay, now you're being weird again in public.
LCC가 저런 광경을 확인하지 못했을 것이라고 생각하긴 어려우니까요.
You're lucky I don't have a very firm rule set on my stream. I'm more
저기
open
있는
to
사람들은
open
K에서
displays
쪽에서
of
파견된
degeneracy.
직원들일까요?
Otherwise, you'd probably get a finger wag
환상체를
for that one.
제압하고 있다기보다는 그냥 무참히 짓밟히고 있는데요.
마치 D사지부에서 신나게 쥐어터졌던 우리 모습을 보는 것 같은 걸.
아니, 전에 닭집도 그러더니 K사는 원래 이런 거야? 이제 이런 식의 환영 인사는 사양하고 싶은데.
뭐해? 얼빠지게 구경만 하고 있다간 우리도 저 새끼들도 모조리 곤죽행이라고.
단단히 착각하고 있는 모양인데 저기 제정신 아닌 꼬맹이가 매일 짓거리는 헛소리에 세뇌라도 당한 건가?
어이? 정신 나간 꼬맹이가 어디 있는 곳이오?
길잡이는 분명 소란이 해결된 후에 돌아오라 했지. 우리더러 직접 나서라고 말한 적은 없었다.
아니, 넌 뭘 그렇게 개같이 빙빙 꼬아 생각하는 거냐? 방금 못 봤어? 내 대가리가 터질 뻔했잖아. 우리한테 뭔 불똥이 튈 줄 알고. 다 두드려 패버리면 끝날 일을. 뭐, 방석 깔고 구경할까? 치킨 뜯으면서? 어?
임무와 직결되지 않은 싸움에 구태여 목숨을 저당 잡힐 필요는 없다는 말이다. 너희 같은 우물들은 느끼지 못했겠지만 죽는 횟수가 거듭될수록 전투의 효율도 조금씩 떨어져 간다. 겪어본 고통일수록 더 두려워지는 법이니까.
하지만 앞에서 사람들이 계속 죽어가고 있는데요?
시간은 걸리고 희생은 많겠지만 언젠간 제압을 하겠지. 바로 우리처럼. 그리고 죽을 때마다 부모나 찾으며 울던 녀석이 몸소 희생을 자처할 줄은 몰랐군. 이제 죽는 것 따위는 우스운가 보지?
수감자들 사이에서 최적의 판단을 내려야 한다면 이자의 말이 맞다.
시계 대가리, 너도 똑같은 헛소리를 했다면 시계째로 으깨고 뛰쳐나갔을 거야.
결정이라면 따르겠습니다.
그래 뭐 잘한 선택일 거야.
저 그렇게 판단해 주셔서 감사해요.
별것도 아닌 일에 쓸데없이 잡생각이 많군 시계. 예술가는 못 되겠어.
다른 누구도 아닌 당신을 위한 결정이었습니다, 관리자님.
You know, that's not a game you
모든
should be
기억을
playing.
되찾은 당신이 어떤 반응을 할지 흥미로워서요.
I'm trying to be considerate and not talk over the cutscenes because it's a good chapter. And playing the game of annoy the streamer and/or annoy Twitch moderators is not exactly a conductive use of your
그리고
time, I
인재라는
feel.
말은 파우스트에게 적합한 단어는 아닌 것 같군요. 인재는 다수가 될 수 있지만 파우스트는 다수에 포함되고 싶지 않으니까요. 수감자 중에 가장 상식적인 의미의 인재에 대해 논한다면 이상 씨가 있겠네요. 참고로 저는 천재고요.
그렇지 않소. 나는 날개짓을 멈춘 지 오래요. 그러니 재능을 논하는 것은 무용한 짓일 테요, 관리자.
저 날아다니는 기계는 뭐지? 아까부터 거슬려. 110생을 3000번째 하고 있는 중.
저건 드론이라 불리는 것이요.
아, 어쩌면 K사에서 저희를 도와주기 위해 파견한 전투용 드론일지도 모르겠네요. K사는 기술이 평균 수준 이상으로 발전한 둥지 같으니까요.
아니요. 생김새를 보아하니 전투 기능은 따로 마련되어 있진 않아 보여요. 그리고 가운데엔 카메라가 달려있군요.
뭐, 잘 사는 도시에 이런 난장판이 벌어졌는데 카메라들이 몰릴만도 하겠네요.
우리도 그럼 뉴스라는 거에 나오는 것인가?
그런데 이 드론들 왜 시체랑 죽어가는 사람들만 찍고 있는 거예요?
뭐 자극적인 쪽으로 시선이 몰리는 건 당연한 일이지 않겠어?
이만큼 끔찍한 사고가 일어났다. 뭐 이런 거지 않을까?
하지만
잠깐 꼬맹이, 앞에!
아무리 봐도 이상하잖아요. 이것 봐요. 왜 저를 계속 찍고 있는 건데요?
난 혼 없는 관객은 좋아하지 않아.
수가 적지 않다. 그리고 이 드론 환상체가 날뛰는 지역에 접근하지 못하도록 의도적으로 봉쇄를 하고 있는 것 같군.
그럴 리가. 도와주러 온 사람한테 굳이 나서서 방해를 하겠어?
안녕하십니까. 시민 여러분의 안전을 위해
I
10m
kind of
이상
forgot how
물러나
dense
주시기를 바랍니다.
the start of this chapter is for
K사의
cutscenes.
직원들이 파견되었습니다. 시민 여러분은 안전합니다. 10m 이상 물러나 주시기를 바랍니다.
It's kind of getting a little much for me to
그러니까
be
그
this quiet
잘난
this
너네
long, and
직원들이
it's
다
not the end of
뒤져가고
the chapter.
있다니까?
안녕하십니까. 시민 여러분은 안전합니다. 10m 이상 물러나 주시기를 바랍니다.
애초에 말이 안 되는 방송이에요. 이런 난장판에서 고작 10m 이상 물러난다고 안전해지겠어요?
쓸데없는 짓거리를 하는구만. 고장이 났던 설계가 잘못된 것이든 일단 이놈들을 전부 격추해야 방해 안 받고 환상체한테 붙을 수 있겠어.
Yeah. It's always an internal battle going on every time we get a long cutscene. I'm like, one, I find it very rude to talk over cutscenes, but two, I also find it like not the most engaging of stream content to just be silent for 20 minutes at a time. And I know we're gonna get to the point where I need to be silent for 20 minutes at a time because we're going into the... We will eventually be getting to the end of this chapter, and it'll be more than 20 minutes. It'll be like, I don't get to talk for an hour, but... Alright. Pick a theme, everybody. What theme should we use for this chapter? What theme team this time? Like I said, we've done base IDs, we did lag pick, we did bad poise IDs, then we did a brief N-Corp stint a la right now. We already did N-Corp, we can't do it again. And now we need something new. Also, I didn't see you there, Lag. Have you actually been keeping up with the VODs, or have you just been dropping in randomly? Because I didn't see you at the end of Chapter 3, and that's when it gets real saucy. Please don't pick the Rose Banners. And they're not even like a full team. There's only 3 of them. Giving them out. Fair enough. I just want to make sure. I didn't want you to be jumping into this because I'm like, whoa there, we might be getting into some spoilers. This fucking Sinclair's chapter's so good. Oh. And yeah, there's only 3. Yeah, there's 3 Rose Banners. There's Rodion. There's Merceau, who is level 1. Great. And then there's him. No. It's a good joke. Fearless is enjoying the game of Annoy the Streamer today, I see. Then again, this is his default state. Well, Rose Banners are all about Tremor. Ugh. I have a team for all of them. Rupture, Bleed, Burn, Charge, Sinking. I don't have Poise, and I do not have a Tremor team. For good reasons. Put every bot on screen at once. Now that's an idea I can get behind. Zwei was used in Poise. Zwei is oddly enough a Poise ID set. I'm like, if you're wanting Rose Banner, that means I need to make a Tremor team, which I will have to eventually, but I'm just like, ugh. Gross.
앞장서시오.
I guess I could do it just because that way people would get to see my thought process. So let's go into them. I think this is a Tremor ID. It is. There's one ID in particular that's insane for Tremor. You. Don't you do something crazy? Discard, or was it you? Upon burst, Tremor inflict 30% of raise stagger threshold of sloth damage. This. Yeah. You are working towards a goal and that is not killing the enemy. Tremor works for the goal of staggering an enemy, which lets you deal more damage to an enemy. But, like, for 5 Tremor applied, why wouldn't you just apply 5 burn and do the same thing, but better? Alright. And you said Rose Banner, so we'll just immediately grab all them. Oh, I need to equip IDs, too. You can only stagger them so often, yes. That's why Molar Office Otis is so important, because of her passive. Upon bursting a Tremor, inflict 30% of the raised stagger threshold as sloth damage. So it's just... she converts Tremor into, like, 30% of sinking. That's not good, but it's something. You know, there's some sauce there. Slosh me. I'm bringing her just because I'm not gonna use her, but I want her to at least be on the team. There she is. Here, let me just start equipping Ego. Sure, that works. I don't know. Fuck it. Aren't you Tremor? Oh my god, you are perfect. Goodbye, Rhyme Shing. Oh, disgusting. Oh, the grossest team. Nasty. Are you? What are you? Aren't you poised? But you're also Tremor. Come here, you. I am genuinely gonna struggle in the boss if we're doing this, and we're doing this. So, gross. Like, we're getting to the point where content is genuinely expecting you to be a little bit better than the teams that I've been toting around up to this point. But that's why I'm glad that I'm using a few units that I actively used. Like Rose Banner, like this ID is used more in Rupture teams than he is for Tremor. Which, yeah, if they have 5+ Tremor count, inflict 3 Rupture. Inflict 2 Tremor count. Burst Tremor, then reduce Tremor count by 2. Spend 4 charge, inflict Rupture count equal to... Yeah, see, he's way more of a Rupture ID, but sure. Yeah. Who's my favorite viewer? Lollifan. Followed by President Weevil. And a Scion. Here, you know what? Hey, come here, Sinclair. We haven't used you yet. Okay, you do Tremor stuff, I think. Upon burst Tremor to an enemy, inflict 1 defense level... Oh, this is one. When ally at lowest max HP burst Tremor on an enemy, inflict 1 defense level... I can do that here. Let's 10 thread. I can make use of this. Oh, shit. It doesn't give him a support pad. Scion probably would unironically be first.
무거운 신뢰를 받게 되었구려. 기대에 보답하게 노력하겠어.
Rose Banner, like I said, Rose Banner Gregor, aka McChainsaw. Oh, we get his cutscene. Oops. I'm gonna skip this. This is an ID that wasn't out yet. People don't get to hear about this. Oh, fuck off. Why am I skipping that? Unironically, minor spoiler. No. No, I have had much worse viewers that, regularly showed up. If we're talking about viewers that didn't just immediately get banned, you're not at the bottom. I've had much more annoying viewers. That is not a goal to strive towards, please. With the lowest max HP, burst Tremor, inflict defense level down per 4 stagger threshold raised. Max 3 per 1 enemy every turn. That's not bad. It's lowest max HP though, so I'll need to have whoever I'm actively using needs to be able to burst Tremor. I don't think any of these do Tremor. Yeah, this is more of a sinking thing. Let me see. Let me just filter through these. People are getting to watch me actually try to do something. Worst regular viewer? Sure. There you go. If you're really trying to go for that acclamation, go for it. Pierce damage, sure. I'll just throw it on you for now. You can have, like... Oh, it's not a WoW yet. Okay. Tremor. Your Tremor. Oh, hell yeah. Technically. Gain 1 attack weight, gain 4 Tremor, inflict offense level down, plus coin down. Oh, fuck yeah. First Tremor, deal wrath damage by 30% of the final stagger threshold raised. Hell yeah. In the party. And we get to use fluid sac shenanigans. Come here, you. Yeah, 9-2 is fun, but no. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's everybody. We just need to worry about their support passives now. None of these are Tremor related. And you can just be default, I guess. We might maybe do... Well, we don't really do pierce damage. Honestly, you don't even need a sinking team just up high Rhymeshank. Okay, let me tell you. There is no ego you should be up-tying before Rhymeshank. With the caveat that you should be up-tying Sunshower Yi Song as fast as you can, because in the next few days, it's going to be moved up to a WoW gear and it'll become more expensive. Do we do pierce or slash damage? Slash, pierce, slash. You're gonna do blunt. Blunt, blunt, blunt. Blunt, pierce, blunt. Okay, so 2 pierce, 2 slash. Slash, blunt, blunt. So 3 slash. Shit. Then your shit all be all blunt. Yeah, so they're about the same, so Dawn can say that. I don't think any... This is like a rupture thing. I could actually probably use this. Unironically, base... If you're going to be using any ID, base Rodion is like top 3 for the base IDs in the game. Lowest max HP inflicts +1 rupture. Actually, it will never be Gregor, who's the rupture guy, because... Merceau. Shit. Burst Tremor, lowest max HP, which would be you. Do you burst Tremor? Yes. Okay. Honestly, both are... Okay, don't use LCCB Rodion, but N-Corp Rodion's not bad. She's just a general, like, hard hitter. She's only alright for clashing. Like, if you're not using a full N-Corp team, she just kind of hits hard. I don't know. I guess Awakening, because I know a lot of people said Fates is mid, but then Scion likes Fates. I don't know. What's +1 bleed? We don't do that. What is your base support passive? Lowest max HP deals and takes +20% damage. That's funny, but that's a resonance, and that's bad. I'm thinking we're just gonna use this one. There it goes. Healing, I guess. That one. Sure. Fuck it. Yeah, N-Corp would do it. You kind of need to get them to up tie 4 for them to really start synergizing with each other, though. Yeah, you just gotta grind it out. Or be willing to pay money, which, don't do that. You're also Tremor. What's your passive? How with the most max HP for +1 Tremor? Oh, hell yeah! Come here, you. +1 Tremor, that's content. And do you even have a Tremor ID? I don't think so. It's like bleed, rupture, burn, charge, bleed, cloud cutter. So no, I'll use this one though. The core passive broken. Yeah, all right. There's the team. Disgusting, but there we go. We now have a... Wait, what's your passive again? Highest speed does pierce damage, that's right. Not happy about that. What else do we got? It should probably be something related to, yeah, nails. You're about rupture, most likely. Skills, no. Self-syncing, if I had to guess? Least SP uses... Hit by an attack gains 1 blunt damage up. We actually do a lot of blunt, so sure, I guess. I don't know. I'm not thinking about it too hard. There we go. We've created a rupture team. Disgusting. Here, let me see if I can... I cannot. Okay. Well, we have a weak link. Off we go. Who gets their speed? You.
준비되었습니다.
좋아.
어디가?
제가
Off we go.
팔 배터리 교체 했었나?
Yeah, a lot of the time, if you're not confident with maintaining your sanity for your Enclair, genuinely just do not, like, equip him with ego. It is usually better to have him panic than it is to have him corrode.
걸려라.
I would not recommend it. Like, I did the railway once, beat it under the threshold on my first try, and have never touched it again.
이만하면 순항이죠. 바람도 딱 좋네.
그렇게 하죠.
그렇지.
Look at us doing rupture tremor things. Isn't that fun? At least they made a second ID that can actually do the flat damage on tremor burst, like right there.
효과적이네요. 이 방식을
It's
기억하는 게
not just
좋겠어요.
Otis, now Faust can as well.
이런
한바탕
상황인데도
해볼까?
어떻게 끝이 보이네요.
대체가 약화된 것 같습니다.
조금만 더
탈출
해보죠.
개체가
I mean,
준비되었습니다.
I could just tell you to use my team, which is a fully uptied, full-powered charge team, which...
뭔가
That is a very unfortunate team because it's so good and is like the best team in the game, but it is also one of the most expensive like teams to uptie in the entire game. Because you need like all of them at uptie 4 as well as a Fuego. Yeah, like charge is the meta. With a few splashes of things like Rupture, you know. People do some crazy shit when you start getting into the really high counts of Railway, but like... A safe bet for, like, every piece of content will always be charge.
힘들군. 그러니 알아서 잘 피해야지.
There's a few units that can kind of just do things on their own, like, even though Rhino Heath, or not Rhino, Rabbit Heath is a charge ID technically, you're not using him for that purpose. And W Yisong is not a charge ID, he is a rupture ID using charge as like an overcoat. You know, he's sneaking into the movie theater when he is actually underage, and by that I mean under rupture. There are a few IDs like that exist in this game that are a part of like a theme that are definitely not in line with their team. Like, Kurakumo Honglu actively does not want to use with his fellow clanmates because he doesn't want the dude he's hitting to have bleed.
아직 50일까지 많은 날이 남은 것을
Also,
파우스트는
because
알고 있으니까요.
Honglu can't get XP, I'm gonna change him off. That's for now. G-Force, ready to drive. Fuck off. Get out of here. Don't talk to me. What we got here? Yeah, perfect. You get XP, I guess. Fuck it. Post battle. Hey, fight time.
외근 시작합니다.
Yeah, and Dawn Teleport, you gotta get to like Uptie 4. Uptie 4, start corroding it and going absolute apeshit. Until you get a few loops in. Once you get a few loops in, you can just start clicking the charge boost for Railway, and then you never need to worry about it. Did you just at yourself? What did he mean by this?
말을 아끼죠. 자, 맞서보죠. 우리들에게 이깟
탈출 개체 확인.
별것도 아니잖아요.
I love how much we can tell that rupture things are happening, and it's not just me hitting them really hard.
걸려라.
일이 끝나갈 조짐이 보이는
저 부표처럼 흔들리는 놈이 제
그렇긴
1
하죠.
사냥감이겠네요.
Anyway, I would try to save up
가서
either way.
끄정하자.
Now that you're done with your old railway content, I would probably save up for Mirror Dungeon to allow you to uptie and level up units and ego that you need to like do hard mode as soon as it comes
사냥이
out.
성공적이라면
Like I would just hoard up for now.
이 흐름대로
Because the
사냥을
moment
끝내고
hard mode
한바탕
comes
해볼까?
out, like you still want to do your weeklies. So we'll probably have to do one normal weekly. But like the moment that hard mode comes out, you want to be able to do it. Even if you don't have the mirror dungeon like bonuses using Starlight or whatever, you want to try to make a team that can do it without it. It's hard and it will probably require a few resets, but it's so much more efficient if you're just doing mirror dungeons for like
이런 상황인데도
weeklies.
어떻게
If you're one of those crazy people that, like me,
조금만 더
that
해보자.
do it outside of that, you can just probably do normal to grind up some Starlight.
한건 했고.
Yeah. Well, remember, you are well beyond what Mirror Dungeon 2 hard mode originally was expecting. Like, if you have a unit that is level 40 or that is up type 4, you are already above par.
조금만 더 해보죠.
Level cap used to be 35 when it came out.
대체가 약화되는 것 같습니다.
그렇지.
효과적이네요. 이 방식을 기억하는 게 사냥의
Oh, hello there.
성공적이네요. 이 흐름대로
What's
사냥을 끝내러
what's
가보죠.
going on here? Composed of steel plates with bluish rust and marks left by heat. Its appearance resembles that of an ammo, commonly referred to as the bulb. The analysis isn't precise. The material's properties suggest it consists of an alloy of copper and zinc. It is another component other than steel plates. There appears to be a human-like being inside it. K-Corp's drones are flying around it. They appear to be filming sinners occasionally. Though the reason of principle is unclear, it is thrown into a state of agitation because it was expected to make the battle more unfavorable for us as it went on. I suggest to the manager that the drones be destroyed first. Being inside constantly had a facial expression one would make whilst in pain. Its movements tend to be erratic and abrupt, possibly due to the pain caused by the heat. The body is assumed to have intense heat. Whenever a sinner is attacked by it, Hazalja and burns could be observed. Ooh. Clouds of gas assumed to be breaths or steam were observed near its head. It sometimes raised its body to slam a sinner with its weight. And other times from the head, the human-like being emerged for an attack. Its dizzying cry left a lasting impression. When a sinner was attacked by the human-like being, it would display serious depression. The mental damage possibly caused them to be immobilized or become reluctant in combat. The effect is expected to be temporary. Concerned that it might render sinners unable to further participate in battle, the manager has ordered to prioritize disabling the head. It is deemed to be an effective approach. The human-like being could no longer be observed in battle once dealt with. No further discoveries to be made. The observation log is concluded. It's such a long time. Unable to do anything but that rage and thirst. Flesh endlessly burning and searing. Our kid's still messed up. I'll still take care of it. So, hey there, Mr. Bull. What are you doing? Inflict burn, burn count, stagger threshold, unresolved sorrow. At the start of the turn, gain attack power down by the count. At the end of the turn, if this effect is a 3+ count, changes to expanding sorrow. On it, target loses Sans SP. Inflict wavering emotions, randomly gain attack down, paralyze or bind, inflict sinking. Yeah, so he's a burn sanity drain guy. Yeah. He also got really big numbers. Yeah. Hopeless. Does the multitude tighten its hold? It sure does. You don't really need Uptype 4 Hexnail. All Uptype 4 Hexnail is give you the very niche benefit of allowing it to, one, inflict nails in case you wanted a bleed ego, which just doesn't exist. Also get fucked, Merso. This is what you get for being level 4 and like way beyond when that level is acceptable content. Died in one hit through an ego. And so yeah, Hexnail's only benefit is to apply nails. Yeah. All it does is apply nails to become one of the like 2 bleed egos in the game, with one of them being La Sangre de Sancho, which, ugh. Man, none of this is a happy timeline we live in. Oh wow, there he goes.
그러니 알아서 잘
적을
피해.
완벽히
And
파악하고
the other
있으신
one is that
거군요.
it inflicts extra damage on enemies that have curse, but the only source of curse in the entire game is Hexnail. So Hexnail at up type 4 inflicts minuscule bleed and bleed count, and then does bonus damage if you use it twice within 3 turns.
다음
It
술자리
is
못남은
an
이거군.
extremely
아주 완벽했어.
oddly themed uptie 4. Don't use it. Do not uptie that, that's bad.
겨우 다 처리했네. 설마 이 드론들 우리 보고 물어내라고 하진 않겠지?
합당한 방어였다고 제 선에서 보고서로 처리해보죠.
파우, 내가 말했던가? 자기는 정말 뭐라 해야 하지?
Merceau is as a
아무튼
unit
그거
exists in a weird space where
느리신
all of his
편이구나.
IDs kind of suck, but all of his ego were some of the best egos in the
뭔가
entire game.
이상해요. 이
Like his
환상체요.
capote is
평소와는 다른 느낌이
absurd for how much burn it applies. It's your burn up,
평소라고 이만큼 많이 겪은 건 아닌 것 같지만
rhyme shank. My brain kept saying
주위에
fluid
소리
sac.
지르는 구경꾼들이 있다는
And
정도가
pursuance is
다르긴
the
한데
OG heal one other than
어떻게 된
fluid
거야 이
sac.
환상체들? 둥지 복판에 나타난 것도 모자라서 왜 지금까지 만난 환상체보다 더 끔찍해졌지?
우리가 본 건 거울 던전의 균열을 통해서 엿본 환상체의 심상이자
So, for people that don't know, because I haven't actually shown off mirror dungeons in game yet, there are random events that would feature abnormalities that don't just, like immediately try to kill you. That's what they're talking about. I mean, if you want to know my take on things, I actually have a mirror dungeon team that specifically uses Merceau, and I actually use Liu Merceau because my mirror dungeon teams try to make use of as many different ego resources as well as status ailments that you possibly can. I use burn, charge, bleed, sinking, and I think a little bit of rupture, but I'm not certain about that. I don't remember. I think I might have taken that off. So that way, pretty much no matter what ego gift I get, I can make use of it. Like, I run Dicey Rodion for Rhymeshank. I run Liu Merceau for Capote, just because burn. And then that immediately solves that problem, you know? Like, if I ever get any insane ego gift for those kinds of things. And then I have a few units that inflict bleed, but that's not crazy for it. Same with charge and whatnot. Alright, carrying on.
그것은 굉장히 좁고도 불안정한 균열이요.
맞아요. 그래서 한정된 상호작용만 가능했던 거죠.
그딴 건 모르겠고 이건 왜 이리 끈질겨? 철도에서 잡은 것들만큼 독한데.
확실히 그러하다.
게다가
Honestly, that's kind of what you go for. I have a lot of just generally good units, but those units tend to apply a certain status ailment. Like, I use Enclair, Rabbit Heath. Like it's all the ones you would expect to be just big damage. But Rabbit Heath inflicts bleed and is a charge ID. Ting Tang Hong Lu, I don't always use him, but he's like a high damage bleed. Dicey Rodion is a high damage sinking. You know. Enclair is high damage burn, and so on and so forth. I use Faust for, I forget what I specifically have going on. I fuck around with my Mirror Dungeon team all the damn time. But it's been the same for quite a while now. Like, there's a few ideas I probably should throw in there.
성분을 검토할 시간은 없으니 최대한 신체와 닿지 않게 해야겠어요.
알아. 굳이 묻히면서 다닐 생각은 없다고.
야, 이것들 어디서 뭐 잘못 주워 먹은 거 아니야? 무슨 광견병 걸린 것 마냥.
히스클리프 씨, 위요!
관리자님, 아무래도 고생 좀 하시겠네요.
제가 간언했다는 점 꼭 기억해 주시기 바랍니다, 관리자님. 총원, 전투 준비!
I thought we solved this, man. Why didn't we kill the bull and instead let him run away? Bastard. So I'm like straight up gonna skip. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna skip these two. I don't know if this one has us fighting the bull. If it's not in return, I will, but we're just gonna go straight here. So this is the one we're gonna start skipping nodes, because these are just filler. Like, maybe this one fights the bull, and if it does, we'll go back to it, but I'm going to fix the pacing of this fucking chapter if it kills me. Here, let me see. What's my mirror dungeon team? Oh yeah, it's a little weird right now. Oh yeah! Well, this is a little bit of an older one, but I don't even use Dicey Rodion anymore. Like, I was fucking around with it a lot. I usually just relied on burn, 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 and then bleed, bleed. It's good enough, honestly. And then, like, bleed, 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 you know? You don't really need much more. But then again, I fuck around with it a lot, so who really knows? Go to Tremor.
제압을 준비합니다.
This is why you gotta do your dailies. You gotta just grind away at it. Yeah, there we go.
자, 맞서보죠. 우리들에게
You see, now we skipped all the filler fights and can just jump back into fighting the bull. Yeah, you just gotta... You typically get a lot of thread whenever Battle Pass season rolls over, because half of your nominable traits get turned into thread. Like, I after the last season ticked over, I got about 4,000 thread. I used all of it to do stupid stuff, and then I immediately unboxed my thread capsules for I used 2,000 of it on stupid garbage. Then I unboxed my thread boxes for another 2,000, so I'm sitting pretty.
자, 맞서보죠.
Yeah. Like thread will come. You just gotta give it some time.
그렇게 하죠.
걸려라.
효과적이네요. 이 방식을 기억하는 게 좋겠어요.
It's all you really need. You never really need other teams. It's just to have some fun.
놀라운 명령이네요. 적을 완벽히 파악하고 있으신 거군요.
Like, the fact that I have, like, 8 teams is more of a testament to how long I've been playing rather than that ever being a good idea. You know?
한바탕 해볼까?
수많은 것들이 옥죄어 온다.
Let me tell you, once you get to, like, even, like, level 50, it slows down to an absolute slog. I get one level up every, like, 2.5 weeks. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. Getting from, like, 65 to 70 took months. You're gonna have to uptie it, though. It's only good at uptie 4. Well, uptie 3 is serviceable, at least. I think mine is actually up there. Let's see. Oh, it's not equipped. Rhino only exists as one of the best appliers of bleed count. So unless you're running a bleed team, Rhino Merceau has some issues. He kind of does just hit hard, and he's really fast. He's bleed count, he hits decently hard, and he is stupidly fast. That's his job. The only ego you need is our Blossom Star. Her Capote doesn't matter as much. And you don't even use Ardor Blossom Star for its burn. You use it because it's a nuke and it rolls like a 40.
조금만 더 해보죠.
It's your obligatory big number damage button. Oh, whoa! I did it.
어제 톱날을 열심히 손본 보람이 있네.
Well, like I'm saying, you don't really need, like, ish ego for burn. It's just not necessary. Like, if you have Liu-ish, you're
이
fine.
정도면 너무
If
성공적인데.
you have
수다보스
Liu,
나오는 거
Hung
아니야?
Lu, and, like, any other burn ID, you're fine. Because you'll apply enough burn count to infinitely keep burn going. You just use Capote to, like, get burn started. That's all you need. Plot time.
환상체 제압이 무사히 끝났군요. 버스로 복귀해도 되겠어요.
Alright, that's the only time I'm pausing, so I gotta do the plot at some point. All you really need is Liu. Honestly, Liu-ish and Enclair is all you really need for burn. Liu Honglu is good because of his support passive, letting you apply easier burn count, but that's really it. Only reason I use Liu Merceau is just because he's a 2-star. He's easy for mirror dungeons. Like once you get your mirror dungeon team solved, you never really need to change it. That's why I haven't. This definitely would be stuff better. But it's just the fact that all the Lius suffer from the problem that none of their numbers are very good until they get burn going. So, like, I know Greg in particular is probably the worst. But, you know, if you want to be using Capote, you have to use Merceau, so that's why he's there.
예상보다 늦었군. 오래간만에
You're damn right I'm doing Canto 4. This is a whole... Okay, there we go, pausing it again. This is a whole playthrough. I'm doing all of the mainline Project Moon games in order, and we finally got here. And part of the reason why I'm doing this, also because a lot of people, when I was going through Ruin, are like, yeah, Ruin is great, but I'm never playing Limbus Company because gotcha garbage. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. Based. So this is also going onto YouTube, just in case people want to see, like, the main story and the content without having to deal with it. Which I get 100%. If this was not made by Project Moon, I would never have fucking touched this game.
환상체라는 존재가 세간에 거의 알려지지 않았던 존재이니만큼 자세한 정보까지 쥐고 있는 것은 아닙니다. 딴딴.
God, wait till you get to Lob Code. Such a fucking different game.
그런 건 추후에 파우스투 씨 쪽에서 잘난 우리 림버스 컴퍼니의 다른 부서들과 함께 속 시원히 밝혀줄 거라고 기대해 보지 않겠습니까?
그러죠.
거기 왜 아까부터 자꾸 어깨를 움츠리고 다니는 거지? 가뜩이나 조그맣던 통에 어깨까지 수그리고 다니니까 아예 보이지도 않는군.
지크프리드님을 다시 만날 수 있을 줄 알았어.
근데 지크프리드님이 누구셨더라?
한 손으로는 저희를 베어가면서 다른 한 손으로는 기념사진을 찍었던 놈 아닌가요?
자크프리더.
본인이 사람들을 구하는 모습 지크프리드님께도 보여드리려고 했단 말이오. 나중에 훌륭한 해결사가 되어서 만나기로 약속도 했는데.
아이 그런 건 오랜 시간이 지난 후 제외해야 감격이 큰 법이야, 돈키호테. 차라리 잘 됐다고 생각해 보자고. 응?
확실히 어색하긴 하군. 고경꾼이 많은 곳에서 벌어진 사건엔 그자가 빠질 리 없는데.
아, 흔히 말하는 연예인 같은 분인가요?
비슷한 것 같군. 그자는 쇼맨십에 특화되어 있으니 보통 K사에서는 이럴 때 반드시 내보내지. 하지만 모든 이목을 다 끌 수 있었던 사건에서 그자가 나타나지 않았다는 건
시크프리드님을 그런 식으로 폄하하지 마시오. 그분이 냈던 자서전 영웅이란 모름지기 마지막까지 웃어야 한다. 42페이지 5번째 줄을 보면 때와 장소를 가리지 않고 약자들을 구하러 갈 것이라고 써 있었소.
그래. 그 신념 부디 잘 간직하고 있으라고. 뭐라도 믿는 편이 헛날의 극한을 버티는 데 도움이 될 테니.
So, I don't want to spoil anything, but I will give you one tip. Nothing else. Have you unlocked page reattribution yet? I don't remember when that is unlocked. And if you have it, I can give you a tip. If not, yeah, get good. And I mean that unironically and in not like a bastard way. It's a, you just gotta practice. It's just a game of numbers and math. What is the name? Key page reattribution. It may not be specifically phrased like that, but I can't describe what it is without, like, spoiling something you may not have yet. That's what I'm saying. There's one thing that I can give you as, like, a freebie, you know? Or I guess I'll phrase it in a different way. Can you reattribute key pages? Okay. Honestly, Urban Plague is still early on enough in the game that you should just do what's, like, just throw big numbers at the problem. It was a running joke. Reattribute. Yes. Okay, so you can do that. Reattribution. And I'll give you this one as a freebie. Debatably the best key page effect in the entire game is the third fight of the game. You know the robots that were like stuttering, charge up? They have the passive that is on hit 25% of the time inflict 1 paralysis. Paralyze is single-handedly the best status ailment in the entire game, and that had to be nerfed like twice. That's why it's such like a weirdly low number, because in the original version of the game, it was just on hit inflict 1 paralysis per turn, and it had to be nerfed. And then it had to be nerfed again. Trust me when I say just throw that on whatever else you're doing. It does not matter. Like, I did a full playthrough on YouTube, and if you actually go to watch to see what I was doing, I had those equipped on every single one of my units for the entire game. I know there are better strategies once you start getting, like, late. I adore paralysis too much to ever unequip it. There's your hint. I'll give you that one as a freebie. Yeah. Like, I'm talking... Paralyze is really fucking stupid. It is a game of numbers, and Paralyze decreases enemy numbers. It was a running joke when I was going through Runa for my first time. A friend's friend who had already played the game said his strategy in a tongue-in-cheek way is, there's no need for thinking. Big number beat little number. And so, simple as that. Big number beats little number. You don't need to think about any of the complex stuff early on in the game. To get a baseline, just throw big numbers at the problem. It will genuinely take you further than you will have expected. And as you ride on through that high, you'll slowly pick up the rest of the game, you know? Let me tell you, I don't know if you've hit the wall that everyone talks about, but I can also give you this one as a freebie. The wall that everyone talks about and is the point where a lot of people quit the game forever is when you meet, was when you start fighting abnormalities on Tiferet floor. I don't know if you got there yet, but oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway. Plot time. No spoilers. I'm having to pick my words very carefully. You can say whatever you want. You can't spoil my audience. We've been going through all of the games. I mean, and besides, the only one from my audience that's actively here right now is Lag, and Lag's already seen all the games. He was there when I was doing Ruina. The only one he hasn't seen is this game, and that's why I'm doing it.
저희도 인지도라는 게
Spider
생긴
abnormality.
모양이에요.
Unfortunately, that does not
이제야
like.
평범한 사람들이 살만한 곳에 초대받고요.
That's on
말해두는데
odd lore, I think.
지난번처럼
I
터무니없는
don't
의뢰랑
remember.
보수면
What abnormalities you
일에서
unlock is
빠질 거니까.
semi-random because, you know, there's 4 paths ahead of you and all of them unlock different things. That one's not a very hard one.
예상대로
Hey, Sam
조금
Joe.
늦으셨군요.
저자는
다시 만나 뵙게 되어 좋군요. 참고로 이건
and-
비즈니스용 멘트가 아니라
There I go again.
진심입니다.
And I will genuinely say, because Ruina and Limbus are kind of similar games, you can kind of figure out Ruina. Unless you have experience for the kind of game Lobco is, I consider Lobco to be by and far the hardest game in this series. Only because it is a complete and utter genre shift. Like, people who are experienced in that, like, pseudo-RTS style were probably more fine for it. But I had never played those games with any kind of regularity. It's like, I did, like, Pikmin, things like that. You know, I was a baby bitch. And, Ruina can be thought through. Lobco, you gotta learn. Like... So when I was doing a Lobco playthrough, I actually thought it was so important to get the first person's perspective on that game. I actually brought Fours, who's one of my audience members, in, and he played through the whole game on stream. And I was just like the guiding voice to stir him in the right direction. And he genuinely gave up. He just got to a point where he's like, no thank you, I'm done, and just gave up. Even with someone walking him through it. He has said in retrospect that he probably could have beaten that game, but fuck. I say this with no, like, slant against you as a person. Do not feel ashamed if you give up on Lobco. If you just want to see the ending and final chunk of that game, I got VODs on YouTube. Do not feel ashamed if you give up on Lobco. Fuck me. That took me like 100 hours to beat.
간다. 말했지? 놔! 생각들이랑 탱고나 추는 악몽을 꿔야했던 기분을 네가 알아? 어?
사실 지난번 의뢰는 여러분의 역량을 테스트하기 위한 사전 의뢰였습니다. 훌륭한 점수로 통과하셨고요.
And good on you
축하드립니다.
for that.
이것도
But also
진심이에요.
don't feel bad. Fuck me.
누구 마음대로 테스트하고
I gave up on
줘.
Lobco. I took a break for like a month and a half. I was so
물론-
pissed. Oh, Jesus.
그거야 물론 저의 똑소리 나는 비서 삼조 씨 마음이죠. 여러분이 림버스 컴퍼니로군요. 반가워요. 동랑입니다. 삼조 씨한테 이야기 많이 들었어요. 팬이 될 뻔했지 뭐예요.
팬이라였어 방금?
립 서비스잖아, 돈키호테.
솔직히 말씀드리자면 사전 테스트를 해보자는 건 제 생각은 아니었어요. 여러분 실험용 닭도 아닌데 너무하잖아요.
네, 제가 제안했습니다. 그야 림버스 컴퍼니는 알려진 정보가 거의 없는 신생이면서도 아닌 듯한 정체불명의 회사잖아요. 저희가 동랑님 말씀만 덜컥 믿고 위험을 감수하면서까지 의뢰를 맡길 수는 없지 않겠습니까?
그러니까 의뢰를
그거야 당연하죠. 왜냐하면 당신들은 아, 여기서 이러지 말고 제 연구실 구경하러 갈래요? 재밌는 거 많이 있는데.
네? 동랑님 연구실로 데려가신다는 말씀이십니까? 이자들을요?
왜? 테스트는 통과했다면서 삼조씨. 더군다나 방금 환상체라는 것까지 처리할 정도로 실력자이신 분들이라면
아하! 알고 계셨어? 역시 영웅들이 지나간 발자취는 금세 소문이 퍼지는가 보군.
말을 재밌게 하네요. 아, 당신이 관리자인 단테님이라고 했나요? 잠깐 이야기 좀 가능할까요?
Nice. Yeah, I have a feeling this chapter is gonna be a chapter of highs and lows. It's here, watch me gab about nerdy shit for 30 minutes, and then watch me sit in silence for an hour. Honestly, that was like the highlight of Ruina and Lobco playthroughs, was just how much like high theory and like game design I could gab about to fill in the dead air.
사실 부끄러워서 말은 안 꺼냈는데 당신의 직원들 중 제 옛날 친구가 있어요. 그런데 그분도 부끄러웠는지 아는 척을 안 해주시더군요. 매우 서운했지만 내색 안 하느라 얼마나 힘들었던지.
동랑님, 이분은 정상적인 소통이 불가능한 분입니다.
그래서 말하는 거야, 삼조씨. 마치 태엽 달린 인형이 되고 걱정거리를 중얼거리는 꼬마 시절로 돌아간 것 같잖아? 제가 여러분께 의뢰를 부탁했던 것도 그 친구의 영향이 커요. 모르는 사람보다는 아는 사람이 더 믿음이 가는 법이잖아요.
보이십니까? 제가 이래서 한치도 방심할 수가 없습니다. 정에 흔들리셔가지군.
그러니까 단테 씨는 저와 그 친구 사이는 알아서 잘 딱 깔끔하고 센스 있게 모른 척 해주세요. 알겠죠?
여긴 연구실 복도입니다. 보통의 일반인이라면 여기까지밖에 못 들어오겠지만 동랑님의 특별 초대기도 하니 이 안쪽까지 안내해드리죠.
우와, 저도 이런 커다란 회사에서 일해보고 싶었는데 말이에요.
그럼 림버스 말고
Need to be able
이런
to
데
see the
입사
inside of a
지원해보지
nest
그랬어?
that we didn't actively work at.
농담이죠, 로자 씨. 이런 곳은 아무나 못 입사해요. 엘리트 중에서도 최정상 엘리트만이 올 수 있는 곳이란 말이에요. 마치
Very
파우스트 씨나
different
이상 씨
from
같이.
Lobco.
저는 파우스트니까요.
구태여 돌아묻겠소. 관리자, 그대는 왜 이곳에 입사한 것이오? 귀하가 스스로 답을 내주었구려.
단테 봤어? 냉장고에 간식들이 잔뜩 있어. 하나 아니 10개는 슬쩍 해도 티도 안 날 만큼.
넉넉하게 챙겨가세요. 삼조씨, 이따가 탕비실 간식들 소분으로 포장해서 이분들한테 나눠줘.
알겠습니다.
대박이다 이스. 지금이라도 나랑 이직 준비할까?
다 들려요, 로자 씨.
로자 씨, 근로 계약에는
농담 파우스트 씨. 농담. 어?
그럼 이제 의뢰 내용을.
이젠 하다 외부인들까지 들여오고 회사 견학까지 시켜주는 거야, 동랑?
아, 잠깐 실례. 이분은 슈련네요. 옆부서 팀장이자 제 입사 동기인데 저한테 상처 입히는 말을 하기 위해 찾아오는 게 주요 일과시죠.
회사에선 네 팀에 할애하는 복지비가 이런 식으로 낭비되고 있는 것에 대해 누군가 한 명쯤은 말을 해야 하지 않나 싶었거든.
아, 복지비에 대해 궁금한 거라면 올해의 최우수 부서 트로피를 받아보면 알 수 있을 거야. 그치, 삼조씨?
최우수 부서가 받는 혜택을 전부 이야기하자면 날밤을 새야 할 정도죠.
아, 둘 다 똑같이 재수없어.
라이벌인가? 어디 가나 잘난 사람일수록 시기하는 사람도 많은 법이지.
시기는 발전의 원동력이니 잘난 쪽이 참아줘야죠. 어제 그 파이 가게에서 회식비로 사온 거 슈렌느 부서에도 돌릴까, 삼조씨?
안 그래도 그럴 생각이었습니다. 후추, 고추, 상추, 카레 맛으로요.
그것도 맛있겠는데?
그럼 마저 얘기를 해보죠. 소문은 들었어요. 황금가지라는 유기물을 수집하는 신생회사가 있다고. 그리고 그 황금가지라는 건 폐쇄된 로보토미 지부에서만 발견되고요.
황금가지의 존재는 어떻게 알게 된 거지?
얼마 되지는 않았어요. 몇 달 전까지 연구실 근처의 로보토미 지부 시설을 연구실로 쓰고 있었거든요.
그 끔찍한 곳에 연구소를 차렸다고?
하지만 전부 매몰되었다고 했는데요.
뭐 각종 희귀한 자원이나 자료들이 남아 있었을 테니까.
연구 대상에 환상체도 포함되었던 건가요?
알아보시는군요. 연구원이라면 그냥 지나칠 수 없는 존재죠.
그렇다면 연구원이란 건 죄다 미친놈이군. 응? 잠깐. 너 설마 그때 헛소리하면서 닭대가리한테 돌 던진 것도...
히스클리프 씨는 가끔씩 예상치 못한 통찰력을 보여주실 때가 있네요. 당신들이 우연을 가장하여 뒤틀림을 소탕해야 하는 상황을 만든 것도 환상체 연구를 뒷받침해줄 수 있는 정보들을 얻기 위함이었군요.
아, 우리 삼조 씨는 연기가 영 능숙하지 못해요. 평생을 올곧게만 살아와서 그런가? 이해해주세요. 저희로서는 뒤틀림과 환상체의 차이를 명확하게 알 재간이 없었거든요. 마음이 산산이 허물어졌을 때 뒤틀린다고 했었나요? 멋있는 비유였어요. 그렇다면 당신들이 허물어진 마음을 원상복귀시켜준 건가요?
무너진 마음을 대신 쌓아 올려주는 방법은 없어요. 길을 가르쳐 드린 거예요. 계속 머물지 그곳으로 걸어갈지는 은봉이네 호프집 사장님의 선택이었죠.
와, 당신 정말 많은 걸 아는군요. 제가 조금만 더 어렸다면 펄쩍 뛰면서 당신에게 하이파이브라도 시도했을 거예요.
언제든지 사양하죠.
동랑님, 또 이야기가 새고 있습니다.
그렇네요. 자, 우리가 로보토미 지부 시설에서 행복하게 연구를 하던 어느 날, 그곳에서 무력 습격 테러가
Get out of
일어났어요.
here.
아주
It's cutscene
갑작스럽게요.
time. It's not nice to talk over the movie.
눈앞에서 폭탄이 터지는 걸 본 적 있나요? 장관이죠. 모든 것이 한순간에 시작되고 끝나버리더군요. 우주 같죠?
테러를 일으킨 세력은 어디였지?
인원의 신분은 특정할 수 없을 정도로 제각각이며 목적 또한 불명입니다. 모습을 드러내기 시작한 건 최근이었거든요. 결국 동랑시 팀이 머물고 있었던 연구실은 그 테러 집단들이 점령해버렸습니다.
연구실은 그때 옮겼던 것인가 보군.
피해는 어느 정도요?
저 비어있는 자리들은 말이죠. 당분간은 공석일 거예요. 죽었거든요. 그때의 테러로. 이 친구는 손가락만 겨우 건졌는데 둘 곳이 마땅하지 않아서 따로 보관 중이에요. 저쪽 2층 진열장에 있을 거예요. 너무나 많은 걸 두고 와야 했어요.
동랑 씨,
특히 제 얼굴 캐릭터로 만들었던 상장패를 놓고 왔어요. 되게 좋아하는 기념품이었는데.
이거 참, 이거 어디까지가 농담이고 진담인지 알 수가 없어, 저 양반은.
그러면 저 자리는 어떤 자리지?
I mean, they can fix it.
저 자리는 예정된 자리예요.
I mean, they can't regrow the rest of
새로운
them, but
직원이
they can heal the
기다리고
finger at
있는
least.
중이죠.
그럼 모집 요강이 따로 있는 건가요? 어디 가면 볼 수 있죠?
우리 3조씨 심기 불편해졌다. 이제 진짜 본론으로 넘어갈까요?
This is a
3조씨?
long cutscene, by the way.
단도직입적으로 말합니다.
There's another one after
서로
this.
윈윈
We're not
플레이를
even
하시죠.
done.
빼앗긴 연구실을 되찾아 주신다면 당신들에겐 저희가 발견한 황금가지의 소유권을 양도하겠습니다.
질문 드리죠. 확정 계약인가요? 아니면 사후 검토 계약인가요? 방식은 대표기관 집행 방식인가요? 공동 집행 방식인가요?
답변하겠습니다. 하자 책임 없이 대표기관 집행 방식으로 즉석 계약 방식입니다. 1급 계약 사무소를 이용한 이페인을 둔 계약도 절차대로 진행될 예정입니다.
제2사에서는 제대로 된 이페인을 구하지 못하는 바람에 황금가지를 곧바로 넘겨받지 못했잖아요.
미리우치파의 우이드 그 자식 로저가 게임에서 이겼는데 약속 안 지키고 묻지마 싸움 걸었잖아.
마리아치파의 아이들인데.
네, 맞아요. 이페인이 되어줄 줄 알았던 아이드 씨가 쏜살같이 태도를 바꿔버리는 바람에 무력으로 가져와야만 했었죠. 그래서 입회나 공증을 해주는 협회나 계약사무소를 이용하는 편이 돈은 많이 들어도 제일 안전한 거예요. 파우스트 씨도 그 점을 제일 주의 깊게 보았을 거고요.
이건 확실히 저희 쪽에 유리한 체결 방식이군요.
목적만 확실히 달성한다면요.
weirdos.
비밀인데 전 사실 삼조 씨가 하는 말의 절반 이상은 못 알아들어요. 그렇구나 하고 넘기는 거죠.
우연인가? 우리도 마찬가지인데.
적어도 동랑 씨는 알아들어야 하는 거 아닌가요?
This entire company is an Xbox 360.
아, 그래도 케이서
Effectively.
연구실과 계약을 맺으면 당분간은 그분들과 싸울 일은 없겠어요. 아무리 상처 입혀도 끊임없이 치료되었던 분들이요.
아, 저희 K3안의 재생 기술을 이미 보셨나 보네요.
아우, 받기만 했겠어?
아유, 지긋지긋할 만큼 겪고 또 겪었지.
그럼 대신 기념으로 제 실험실 보여드릴까요? 여기 말고 엘리베이터를 한 번 더 타야 해요.
네, 거기까지 보여주실 생각입니까, 동랑님? 관계자 외 출입 금지인 곳인데.
방금 삼조 씨 엄청 웃긴 소리 냈다. 아, 뭐 어때? 계약 체결한 기념으로 놀러가 보는 거지.
Anyway, that took 10 minutes. To answer your point, it depends on how you define negative progress. Because in Lobco, you can lose units, but you gain information, you know? It's entirely a game about knowing, rather than necessarily having big numbers or surviving or so on and so forth. Negative progress is very much so defined, and it is a game that lives and dies by that. Like, if you played Lobco and you just looked up everything, you would completely break the game. So, mechanically and through, like, actual concrete entities in the game, you can lose, and you can lose permanently, but through that, you gain knowledge, and that is a permanent, non-loss format, I guess. Because even if you, like, personally forget, it's actually, like, one of the few things that is saved whenever you rewind time is knowledge. Like, there's a journal that you can check, and it actually retains all of that. Yeah. Usually those kind of games that have permadeath or long losses like that are usually just really annoying. Like, I did not like XCOM for that exact same kind of purpose. But games like Fire Emblem or the Lisa games, those are really fun because they're balanced around it and they're designed for you to keep going through those losses, even if they are random. Like, it's the ebb and flow of, like, a high-stakes game. There's some fun to be had there. But with games like XCOM, I just find it tedious. Alright. Alright, I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. I said this is my favorite chapter, but man, it's Yisong's chapter. Which, by the way, I did get corrected in the comments. Yisong wasn't the name of the character from his book. It's an alias the author used, which I'm like, oh, that's neat. But yeah, this is Yisong's chapter, so it's very wordy. We're gonna get a lot of theory and metaphor and symbolism and yada 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 yada. Ugh.
표면적으로는 HP 탄이라고 불리고 있기는 하지만
Their favorite librarian is Bongbong.
기술이죠. 이런저런 고비가 있었지만 지금은 제가 최근에 아주 쬐끔 개량한 앰플이 제일 대중적으로 사용되고 있답니다.
그걸 보급한 사람이 대기야? 진짜 우리가 그것 때문에 얼마나 죽을 고비를.
그 고비를 거의 네 발로 발발 기어서 간신히 넘었죠.
그래도 전사하거나 치명상을 입은 분들은 아무도 없어 보여서 다행이네요. 회사마다 업무 중 사망에 따른 정의가 다르고 절차도 복잡하다고 들었어요. 삼조 씨가 뭐라고 설명해 줬는데.
아니 그럼 동랑 씨는 계속해서 이 모든 치료는 나노로봇 기술을 연구 중이신 건가?
그럴 리가요. HP탄은 이미 상용화된 지 오래된 기술이에요. 지금은 HP탄을 활용한 가축 개량 연구를 진행 중이죠.
가축 개량 연구요?
절단이 아무것도 아니게 되는 개념이라면, 그저 순간에 지나지 않을 뿐이라면. 생각해 보세요. 우리는 질 좋은 고기들을 무한하게 먹을 수
These
있는
people
거예요.
have invented the ability to
그냥 질 좋은
effectively
고기가
bring
아니라
someone back from
수많은
death
사람이
and are
매달려
using it to
연구하고
make
개량한
chicken easier.
그런 드물고도 질 좋은 가축들의
Yeah,
고기를 말이죠.
I can get behind that. That makes sense.
아무래도
And that's why we had a chicken side
동랑
quest.
씨도 로자 씨처럼 누구보다 고기를 진심으로 사랑하시나 보네요.
사랑이라. 시간과 관심을 끝없이 쏟는 게 사랑이라면 그럴지도 모르겠네요.
둘이 묘하게 재수없는 게 아까부터 끼리끼리 잘 노는구만.
I mean, we know of there being districts that are starving to death to the point where they engage in rampant cannibalism to the point where it has been ingrained in their society. So, yeah, more food is pretty important.
나노로봇이 이렇게 생겼나? 아니, 내 눈엔 그냥
It just makes me
애처럼
wonder,
다를 거
like,
없어 보이는데.
is one chicken
너무나
worth the
작은
amount of
입자가
K-Corp
유동성을 가지면
juice they're using to
유체와
fix them?
다름없어 보이는 법이니까요.
Because I would assume that they would be expensive.
식량을 위해서 이렇게까지 해야 하는 거예요?
I know it's the size of a small
육즙이
country.
흐르는 고기를 먹고
I don't
자란
remember the exact
도련님은
one they
고기가
used, but
역하신가 보네.
they have confirmed that it was a
꼬맹이.
country-sized.
밥을 위해서는
So,
못할 것이 없는
it's a
사람도
big boy
세상에
city.
많아.
아니, 그거랑 다르잖아요. 그리고 저희 가족들은 고기를 먹지 않는 분들이었어요. 저는 아니긴 했지만 왜 굳이 이런 형태여야 해요? 그러니까 제 말은
하려는 말이 뭔지 알 것 같아요. 역시 조금 부자연스럽죠? 단순히 식량 개선을 위한 거였다면 충분히 더 효율적인 방식이 있을 텐데요.
적어도 이거 하나는 확실하네.
It's really hot.
진작
I
이
hope you
기술이
don't hear
뒷골목에
background
전부
noise.
퍼졌더라면
It's December. Stop being hot.
나와 친구들은 쓰레기통이나 뒤지고 다니진
You
않았어.
start hearing background noise, scream at me, and I'll close it.
기술. 아니요. 이것은 한낱 사육이요. 저치들은 날 수 있다는 것도 평생 모를 것이요.
반론합니다. 닭은 본래 날지 못하거니와 이 기술은 현재 수많은 시민에게 질적인
Well,
복지를
chickens can more so glide. They can do a
괜찮아요,
little bit.
삼조씨. 본래는 눈조차 잘 마주하지 않던 사람이 누군가를 또렷이 노려본다는 건 그만큼 절박하다는 거잖아요. 사육은
연구실에 무슨 일이 생긴 모양입니다. 지금 연구실로 가는 게 좋은 선택일까요?
괜찮을 거야, 삼조씨. 이분들은 우리 재생 앰플을 장착한 K사 경비들과도 맞서 싸워놓고 생체기 하나 없으신 실력자들인데.
I would unironically recommend like installing a mod to remove the grind because it just gets tedious. Like you can just get so unlucky. You're gonna want everyone's page in some capacity by the end of it anyway. Just get it all, you know? That's what I do. You never want to run into a situation later on in the game where you're like, oh yeah, there's this one page early on that had the ability I'd love for this like weird niche strategy I'm trying out, and then you just don't have it, so you need to drop everything you're doing and go grind. Like, ugh. Especially when you get later on into the game and you start getting the longer boss fights without, saying anything. Maybe it's a fight that takes you 6 attempts, and each attempt is like 30 minutes. You really don't want to have to do that again. Pages you can only ever get the amount listed, whereas actual cards you can get an infinite amount.
아, 잘못 발사됐다.
Fun fact for people at home who don't know. This dude is like one of the only named characters along the main story we have not gotten an identity for. How weird. For all the people at home, yeah, this guy exists and he's a character, but we just don't have an ID for him yet.
18초 내로 도착할 K사 경비들을 기다려.
저 멘트는 여전하네. 왜 저런 말은 항상 차분한 목소리로 말해야 하는 걸까? 숨이라도 헐떡이면서 말해야지 사람들을 대피시키는데 효과적이지 않겠어? 역시 기술이나 과학 같은 것에만 몰두해서 눈이 멀어버리면 감정에 공감하려는 노력은 없어진다니까.
말이 너무 많아. 조용히.
모두 무사하십니까? 혹시라도 무사하지 않은 분들은 재생 앰플을 받아가시면 됩니다. 교차 적합 검사를 받아야 하긴 하지만 일단 급하니.
태연하네. 보통 테러가 벌어지면 단체로 혼란에 휩싸이지 않나?
첫 테러엔 모두가 우왕좌왕했었죠. 그땐 폭발 감지 안내 방송도 없었거든요. 삼조 씨가 그때 책상에 한참 동안 숨어서 안 나왔는데.
항상 말하지만 그건 로비에서 일어난 테러였고 저는 책상 깊숙이 떨어진 수첩을 주우려던 것뿐이었습니다. 심각하게 받아들이셔야 합니다, 동랑님. 둥지 한복판에 있는 K사 연구실을 습격한 건 보통 일이 아닙니다.
그러게. 이번엔 용케 연구원들이 있는 층까지 도달했네요. 나 왼쪽 다리가 좀 삔 것 같아, 삼조 씨.
로보토미 지부를 점령하고 있다는 테러 집단이 저자들인가?
맞아요. 호랑이도 제 말하면 어음이네요.
저 사람들이 테러 단체들이라고요? 그다지 전투에 특화되어 있지는 않아 보이는데요.
꼬맹이가 이제 그런 눈썰미도 생겼냐?
당연합니다. 직접 전투에 나서는 건 저들이 아니니까요. 딱 보기에도 동랑님처럼 비실비실해 보이지 않습니까?
돈 있는 놈들은 직접 안 싸우더라도 만에 하나 모른다면서 신체 강화 시술을 받더만. 저거 다 엄살 아니야?
꼭 그렇지만도 않습니다. 신체 강화 방법이 다양한 만큼 형태에 따라 거부감을 느끼기도 하고 괴로워하기도 하니까요. 둥지에 따라서 거주민인 깃털들이 작용 미달이면 일정 위력 이상의 시술을 받는 것을 금기시하는 것도 있어요.
아래 것들이 힘을 가져서 들고 일어나면 곤란하기라도 하나 봐. 그치?
그 가능성도 부정할 수는 없겠네요. 둥지마다 다양한 이유가 있을 테니까. 하지만 근본적으로 강화 시술은 고출력 차량과 흡사합니다. 감당 못할 출력의 차량 같은 장비를 검증되지 않은 자가 다룬다면 둥지 안의 여러 질서는 금방이라도 깨질 테니 그 부분을 예방하는 차원이 클 거예요.
열성적인 설명 중에 미안하지만 참고로 전 엄살은 아니고 진짜 아팠답니다.
검문소에서 봤던
이제는 우리의 든든한 아군이겠네요.
Oh, hell yeah. The K-Corp dudes that filtered us are on our side
목숨의
now.
과다출혈, 12cm 이상의 척추 손상, 심장 동맥 적중, 두개골 파괴. 그리하여 모든 적은 불필요한 고통 없이 즉사한다.
불필요한 고통도 고통이지만 그냥 애매하게 뇌가 남아버리면 되살아나 버리니까 곤란해서 그런 거 아니었어? 저기 실례가 안 된다면 너네 바로 죽진 않아도 그냥 죽은 척 해줄 수 있을까? 얘 어제 밤새워서 즉사기능 업그레이드 된 거거든.
조용히.
봐봐, 내 말이 맞잖아. 저 반동거리로는 후드역까지만 통과된다니까. 이걸 꼭 실전을 통해서 깨달아야 속이 후련하니?
젠장, 측두엽까지 뚫었어야 했는데.
질 수 없죠. 로봇은 저희 쪽에도 있거든요. 곧 나타날 텐데. 하하! 짠! 재생 앰플 투여 드론이에요.
그래도 든든하겠어요. 상처를 입을 때마다 즉각적으로 재생 앰플을 투여해 주는 건가요?
네. 머리통이 날아가거나 황금 시간을 놓쳐 뇌가 정지한 상태가 되기 전에만 주입되면 그들은 불사입니다. 장기가 관통되거나 어이쿠,
나이스.
뼈가 부러지는 것 정도는 수초 내에 원상 복구가 가능하니까.
그렇다고 아픔조차 못
She's good
느끼지는
now.
않을 텐데요. 저들은 왜 이렇게 태연하게, 심지어 바로 옆에 있는 동료의 신체가 절단되어도 눈길조차 안 주잖아요.
당연한 일이다. 몇 초 내에 복구가 된다면 모든 판단은 부수적인 일이 될 뿐.
그렇다면 저희도 언젠가는 저렇게 변하는 걸까요?
그런 걸 왜 생각하는지 모르겠군.
궁금하잖아요.
그런데 여기 못 보던 옷 입고 있는 뉴페이스들은 누구야? 자기 소개해줄 사람?
우리가 알 바는 아니지.
맞아. 그런데 계속 마주보고 있으려니까 조금 어색해서 누군가는 말을 꺼내야 하지 않나 싶은데?
고작 테러 조직 따위한테 왜 자기소개를 해야 하죠?
우린 테러 조직 따위가 아니다. 말 조심해.
나는 그 어감 나쁘지 않은 것 같아. 4살 때 내 가치관과 맥락은 같아서 11살 때 쓴 원자 논문이 당선되면서 어쩔 수 없이 대학원에 부름을 받게 됐지만
조용히 해. 우리는 기술 해방 연합이다.
어떤 기술을 해방시키는 거죠? 기술이라는 것도 자유를 원하는 건가요?
아마도 저 연구실 안에 있는 동물들 아닐까요?
들었어? 쟤 우리가 동물 보호사라도 되는 줄 아나 본데? 미안한데 그런 고리타분한 여행은 옛적에 끝났단다. 우리가 행복하게 자라나 건강하게 튀겨진 치킨이나 씹자고 잘 시간까지 갈아가면서 기계들을 조립하는 줄 알아? 특히 X-32형 볼트는 요새 구하기도 힘들어서 다른 둥지를 통해서만 주문해야 돼. 세금이 얼마나 붙는지 알아?
X-32형 볼트는 C-9 볼트를 주조한 다음 2시간 간격으로 담금질을 하면 대체가 가능합니다.
어디서 가짠게 아는 척을.
오, 아니야. 그럴듯해.
아니 대체 왜 척분한테까지 팁을 주는 거야, 파우스트 씨?
이해 못하시겠죠? 연구원들에겐 죽음보다 중요한 신념 같은 것이 있답니다.
Wordy. Time to kill some, is that the demonetization word? Either way, time to kill some terrorists. YouTube can deal with it. It's not like I make money doing this anyway. You know how many times a bunch of my videos have been copyright flagged? They haven't been copyright struck, but do you have any idea how much random garbage that has been, even in this series alone, that has been copyrighted? Every single time we have heard a Millie song or the main opening of like any of these games, they are immediately like, yeah, you're no longer eligible to start earning money. And the amount of money I've earned thus far from YouTube is 0. So it's going well. Robots, yeah. Who didn't want to fight some robots?
걸려라.
효과적이네요. 이 방식을 기억하는 게 좋겠어요. 저것들 상당히 즐거워 보이는데요. 뭔가 기운을 내게 하는 걸 먹었을지도 몰라요.
힘 조절이
하나 마무리했습니다.
아무튼 놀라운 한방이네요. 저것들 상당히 즐거워
God, I
보이는데요.
love Lobco Faust.
뭔가
Regret Faust.
뭔가
Her basic skills
탈출
being
개체가
AoE
정리되었습니다.
is fucking
탈출
man.
배치가 정리되었습니다.
사냥이 성공적이었네요. 이
Let's see.
흐름대로
Most
사냥을
stage
끝내러
fighting
가보죠.
use the same team for second wave and dies, and fail to use the second team. It depends on how many floors you're allowed to use. There are some one-wave fights that have like 3-4 floors available, for just as an example. They're completely separate systems. You can have 2 floors and 2 waves. You can have 4 waves and 1 floor. You could have 5 waves and 3 floors. You know, it's what the second number on the right is, I do believe. At least I think it's on the right. What you can actually do, if you want to be like a cheeky one, what you can do is if you have, no. You will still be able to continue to use the second floor. You can actually do it, like, let's say it's 2 wave, 2 floor. Let's say you used Roland's floor, you ding them up all real good. Then in the second wave, you saw that all your dudes are nearly dead. You can intentionally go out and use, like, Malkuth's floor in the second wave. It'll reset your emotions so you won't retain any speed die or, like, have no pages or like that. But, like, let's say you do wave 2 and you use Malkuth's floor and then Malkuth dies, you can still go back and use Roland's floor. He will actually then also retain any emotions, abnormal pages, things like that. All of those will be maintained. And what if you want to be really tricky, if you have like a many wave fight, you could, like, let's say there's like 4 waves, you could do floor 1 with Roland's floor, wave 2 with Malkuth's floor, wave 3 going back to Roland, and you're like, oh, you've already spent the time to upgrade Roland, so Roland's floor is all suited up and ready to go, as well as not having taken damage from the second wave. Then in the third wave, you can, or the fourth wave, you could go back to Malkuth, and then, you know, do it again, just keep, like, swap-swapping. And hey, look at this, a fight I get to skip. Fantastic. There goes another node. Fuck you. Time for more storyline. We have already skipped, like, 4 nodes. Great. So I do love filler.
뭐 확실히 편리하긴 해 보이네.
I will make this chapter have good pacing, and by that I mean it'll be 90% story, I guess.
이 재생 앰플의 개량을 위해
Let me tell you, when I'm going through this the first time, I was enraptured in the story and not noticing how long it took.
시계는 그까지 고통이 얼마나
There's actually, you know what? I'll even finish that topic. There's one time where I was doing a Runa where, like, let's say, for example, it's 1 floor, or 1 wave, but 2 floors. You go in there with your ace floor, you ding them up really good, and you just barely lose. Because when you finish a map and you die, the enemies actually maintain their HP. So what you can do is, if there's only 1 wave left and you have another floor, you can have the second floor be just like a sacrificial pawn. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they only have 100 HP left. I'll do a whole team that's just dedicated to, like, inflicting burn or doing, like, flat damage, you know? You don't need to, like, win clashes or anything like that. You just have to deal damage. And it doesn't matter how many of your units die or how, like, long-term unviable a strategy is if you can win within, like, the first 4 turns, you know? You don't need to worry about light regeneration if you're just throwing your hand at them. Or you don't need to worry about card draw if the next turn won't come around. Something like that, even, yeah. I don't know if ranged combat pages ever come back, because, I will tell you, I never used ranged pages. Not that they're not viable. In fact, I know one set of them is extremely viable and is what people actually recommend you use. No spoilers, I won't say which ones. But I hate them. Just in my soul of souls, I hate them so much, and I never use them ever. But Godspeed if you like ranged garbage. Fuck
나
that shit, I
지금
don't give a damn.
오른손뼈에 조금 금이 간 것 같은데. 앰플마저도
And that's
되지?
why there's like multiple
도끼 쥐기가
strategies.
영
Hell, some
불편하네.
people were using those ranged dice all the way up to the end of the game. You know, like, you can kind of just have a strategy you personally like.
환영합니다.
I understand
언제나
ranged die.
당신의
I'm allowed to not
건강을
like
위하는
ranged die.
재생 앰플을 주입하겠습니다. 주입 불가.
It is a mechanic I do not like and will instead pretend that it does not exist. And will get confused whenever it happens because an enemy uses them. Which definitely didn't happen in even my most recent playthrough on stream.
진행하지 않았기에 이에 따른 부작용은 책임지지 않음을 유의 부탁드립니다. 감사합니다.
뭐? 무슨 소리야? 그럼 팔다리 중 하나라도 잘려오라는 거야?
이미 그러고 있잖아요. 저 K사 경비들 재생 앰프를 주입받으려고 스스로 신체를 자르고.
어쩔 수 없습니다.
You can do that.
생채기
You
하나 날 때마다 재생
absolutely
앰프를
can.
사용하는 건 심각한
It-
비용 낭비니까.
Okay. Do you know about general receptions? So this is a mechanic they never tell you about in the game. This one I can softball you this one. So it's what we were talking about with like Kim in the last stream. General receptions are, yeah, but only the early ones. I would do later on ones, especially when you get to like where you are right now, Urban Plague and like beyond. You start getting unique like named characters. That's where Kim comes from. Kim is not in the main story of Library of Ruina and therefore doesn't have a plot. There is one set of people that can do the funniest strategy, which I will just tell you because it's so niche you would never like think to do it yourself. What you do is you use a character that has a unique page that says on discard, all of your other units generate 1 light. That's really good. That's insane. Also, discarding, not good at all. So, what you do is you fill up your deck with cards that are like ranged or that like exhaust themselves. So by the end, like a full cycle of your hand, you have 3 copies of the card that are like on discard, generate 1 light for your whole team, and 3 cards that discard cards. And so every turn, and then that character that has the ability to like generate light for the whole team also has the ability to draw cards on discard. So you dump your whole hand, give 3 light to your entire team, then draw all 6 cards available in your deck, and you do that every single turn. That character is worthless in combat though, because those cards that discard other cards are like 1 die, like 2 to 5, you know, just garbage, utterly worthless in combat. But it generates the most light and does the stupidest shit possible. I didn't even know about that until someone came into my Ruina stream and said, hey, you want to do some crazy shit? And I'm like, damn right I do. And then I learned that and it was fun and stupid. So do general receptions. Like, there are mechanics that are locked behind general receptions that you like never get more cards for. Like, discarding is like a mechanic that is almost exclusively behind general receptions. You get like 1 or 2 cards in the main story that are about discarding, then you do general receptions and there's like 3 full like corporations of people that are all about this mechanic. Yeah, you can find them on the wiki. They're very tedious and I would not recommend doing them without just looking it up. Yeah. A good shorthand is, unless they're explicitly like a named unit, don't do the fight. Because a lot of the earlier ones are like, oh, a grade 8 office fixer. Oh, a grade 7 office fixer. Oh, that's my favorite character. Oh, an urban legend class syndicate member. Oh, my favorite character. You know, like don't do those ones. Do ones that are like a named thing or like an office that you actually don't recognize or something like that. You want to do that content rather than, I guess, just throwing away your time. Honestly, you don't need them to beat the game either, because I didn't know about them in my first playthrough. They make the game so much easier. Like, oh my god. If you want to challenge yourself, don't use them. But they just make the game easier. Some of them are really good. Some of them are really bad. But playstyles and all that, story,
굳이
whatever.
비교를 하고 싶지 않지만 당신네 같은 중소기업은 함부로 쓰지도 못할
Yeah, it's
가치입니다.
also good content. Plus, you can read their pages to get the lore. Like, there's one character at the very end of, like, the final one in the game. Like, you get him by putting in pages of, like, the end of the game. His story is very interesting, and I really want to see what his is about. He's, like, the #1 guy I cannot wait to learn more about in this fucking game. Same thing with, like, other stuff. Like, they have a faction called the Udjat that appears. That one's not a spoiler either, because that is a tongue-in-cheek reference to the Distortion Detective. you actually get to see what one of the factions in one of the side material actually look like. They appear in Ruina without, spoiling anything from the book, because that'd be kind of a dickhead thing to do. But you can see what a novel exclusive faction looks like, which is cool. Distortion Detective is really good. However, it got canceled because they're making it into a game. Honestly, I'm kind of glad you, avoided didn't come to the earlier episodes of this stream, because I fully have talked through all of the side material. I've covered everything that is massive fucking spoilers for Ruina in the earlier episodes, because guess what? There are some theories and, stuff you wouldn't know unless you've beaten Ruina or read the side materials that appear very early on or earlier on in Limbus that just spoil the shit out of things. So don't watch those VODs. Whoops. Yeah, but yeah, fair enough. I won't tell you that, Snape kills Dumbledore or something like that. Roland kills Dumbledore. What's going on?
관리자님, 괜찮으십니까?
제가 대신 맞았는데요, 오티스 씨.
이 오티스가 대신 맞았어야 했습니다. 젠장.
저기요.
Yeah. Oh, no, absolutely.
니놈들의 그 비싼 연구비로 만든 로봇이
never
결국
mind.
오작동을 일으키는 아군을 오인 사격했잖아.
It's so good. I will validate that it's so good. Ugh. I can firmly attest that I still like Ruina more than Limbus. And I think I played Ruina 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, maybe it was early last year, but Ruina was my favorite game of all last year or 2 years ago of any game that I played. Number one on the fucking tier list of that year. Not very fair, because I don't play very many new games, but they're new to me, and so that's why it was on the list. But it was there. And then number 2 was Day Shifted Freddy's. And no, I'm not gonna extrapolate on that at all.
다만 예외 처리가 미처 되지 못한 모양이군요. 그 점은 사과의 말씀을 드립니다.
무슨 헛소리를.
알다시피 당신들이 이곳까지 들어오게 된 건
What did I
순전히
mean by
동랑님의
that?
변덕 덕분입니다. 이곳에 손님이 방문하는 경우는 극히 드문 일. 따라서 미처 고려되지 못했던 사항에 해당되죠.
그게 대체 무슨 소리인데요?
K사 재생드론의 쓰임새는 단순한 치료가 전부가 아니라는 소리입니다.
왜? 제 몸이
Ishmael,
녹아가고 있는
what did
것처럼
you do?
보이죠? 누가 한 명이라도 알아듣게 얘기를.
K사 드론은
Oh, I have had so
평소엔
many theories as
부상자들에게
I've gone through
재생 앰플을
Limbus alone.
주입시켜주지만
Finish Ruina and come back. I got
전장
theories for
이탈자들에게는
days.
붕괴 앰플을 주입시킵니다.
I have already directly out loud said who I believe Dante is, as well as who Damien might be. Things like that.
전쟁 중도 아닌데.
What's going on with Damien,
받아들이자?
what's going on with Dante, shit like that.
그래. 차라리 저 드론들을 앞장서서 싸우는 게 낫지 않겠어?
당신이 있던 둥지에서는 인명에 대한 가치가 높았나 봅니다. 그렇죠? 저 기계들은 한 대당 2등급 직원 10명의 가치와 맞바꾼다고 해도 비교가 안 될 만큼의 비용을 지닙니다. 이해하시겠나요?
이해해라. 네가 받아들여라. 그따위 강요? 너무 많이 받아서 이젠 별로 하고 싶지 않은 걸 어쩌나.
이해는 되네요. 모의 전장에 K사 드론을 도입함으로써 아군의 승률이 23.5% 상승하였다는 연구 결과도 있었어요. 연구자들 사이에서는 꽤나 인지도 있게 알려진 논문이었죠.
예로부터 전장의 사기를 떨어뜨리는 가장 큰 원흉은 적군의 위력도 지휘자의 나약함도 아닌 전장 이탈자들이었다. 전장 이탈자의 공개적인 처벌은 역사적으로도 증명된 사례가 다분한 효과적인 전술 방법이지.
많이들 아쇼. 이해.
실례했습니다, 관리자님. 시계 돌릴 때의 고통을 미처 헤아리지 못했습니다.
신속하게 돌리셔야겠군요. 지금 정도의 상태면 심장까지는 보존되어 있을 테니까요.
관리자님, 저 어떻게 되는 거죠?
Okay. Well, that was fun. That's just, we're just wildly spinning our way off into the world of fan works, which there's some good stuff out there. A lot of it's also bad, though. But also based. Nothing there would absolutely have been a better replacement to Dawn.
한바탕 해볼까?
Like, straight improvement. Like, it could have been an enemy the whole time and party wiped us Node 1, and it would have been a better improvement than having Dawn.
저것들 상당히 즐거워 보이는데요. 뭔가 기운을 내게 하는 걸 먹었을지도 몰라요.
I love how flaccid Merceau's sound effects are, because he's like, we have the real hammer gal here, and it's over in the corner. Merceau has been fully replaced, and thus he is found lacking. God, those are satisfying S effects, though. Dear God. For a Walford gets knocked, they did some solid animation work. They put some love into it.
저것들 상당히 즐거워 보이는데요. 뭔가 기운을 내게 하는 걸 먹었을지도 몰라요.
개체가 약화 탈출 개체가 점령되었습니다.
힘들군. 그러니 알아서 잘 피해.
일격에 저렇게나?
I am actually noticing the, like right there, I wouldn't have staggered. Okay, it didn't actually matter. But I wouldn't have staggered if I hadn't done some Tremor bursts right there. It's minor, but it is at least a helping. I mean, I would have just killed him had I done Burn or Rupture instead, but, I mean, you know, it's doing its best. It's helping.
제압 완료. 경보에는 익숙해지시는 게 좋을 겁니다. 아직 50일까지
Yeah, whatever
많은
she
날이
said.
남은 것을.
Yeah, anyway, here's 2 more nodes we can just
알고
skip
있으니까요.
because they're worthless. We have skipped, I think, 6 nodes, maybe 7 now, something like that. Here, let's do some math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 nodes, fantastic. So this went from 54 to 48, way more reasonable. Look at that. Actually, like, paced. And now it's not just suffering from node bloat. And we shall be skipping more as we go along.
다들 집중. 지원이
Shit in it.
도착했다. 저 사람들은 뭐지?
그러게요. 누구야, 슈렌느? 나 말고 새 친구들 사귀었어?
이번에 우리 팀 연구소랑 협업하고 있는 장미 스패너 공방의 해결사들이잖아. 몇 번이나 오갔는데 얼굴 좀 외워라.
안녕하십니까. 장미 스패너 공방 대표 니코라고 합니다.
재미없네. 돌아가자.
뭐? 그래, 돌아가자.
역시 저희의 포스에 다 겁을 먹고 도망갔군요.
고마워 슈렌느 씨. 이러다가 진짜 내년 최우수 부서상은 네가 가져갈 수도 있겠다는 생각을 처음으로 하게 되었어.
잘난 그 상장패들 다 박살나서 어떡하냐?
슈렌느님, 실례지만 설마 박살날 때까지 기다리다가 오신 건 아니라 믿겠습니다.
이런 것쯤은 괜찮아. 사진만 멀쩡하다면.
직접 눈앞에서 목격하니까 들었던 것보다 피해가 심각하군. 자칫하면 연구원들까지 모조리 죽을 뻔할 수 있는 상황이었어.
네, 그렇기 때문이라도 하루빨리 저들을 소탕하고 빼앗긴 연구실을 탈환해야 하는 상황입니다.
어째서 K사에서는 지원하지 않소?
그야 둥지 한복판에 이런 일이 있었다는 걸 숨겨야 하니까 아니겠어요?
그 일은 무고의 깃털이 엮였으니 차치하겠으나 이번엔 K사와 연루된 연구원과 연관 연구소의 일.
연고지와 연계되어 있음에도 연막 속에 연금에 둘만한 일인 것 아니겠어요? 아무튼 그래서 말이죠. 특별히 여러분들 목까지 재생 앰플을 넉넉하게 챙겨야겠어요.
Yeah,
지금
Jikan.
출발하는 게
He's a fun one.
적절하겠죠?
동랑 씨, 이거 놀러 가는 거 아니야? 괜찮겠어?
He has a very weird
네.
play style.
여러분이
Some people
전투하는
really
모습을
like
직접
him, but they're
보니까
very
더욱
niche.
안심하고 함께해도 될 것 같아요.
Very strange character, that
참고로
one.
저희를 관찰한다 해도 관리자 단테 씨가 사용하는 기술은 K사 인플의 재생과는 궤를 달리하는 복원의 영역이에요. 따라서 K사의 특이점이나 재생 인플 개량에 크게 도움은 되지 않을 거예요.
치료가 아닌 복원이라.
설마 단테 씨의 능력을 보고 보살 치킨집
Yeah,
점생의
they kind of
사장처럼
do
산업
that,
스파이
don't
짓을
they?
하려고?
Until you go for too long.
그런 짓은 하지 않아요.
There's no need for
전
thinking. Big number
소화시키지도
beat
못할
little
것을
number.
억지로
It's
먹는
no
타입은
need for
아니라서요.
thinking.
당신 같은 경우는 전투에 능한 부하들을 보내는 게 일반적일 텐데 구태여 최전선이라 표창이라도 받고 싶은 건가?
아니요, 그곳엔 미처 챙기지 못하여 놓고 온 것들이 제법 많거든요. 연속 3년 우수상 받은 기념사진이랑 K사 감사 트로피랑 연구실 확장 기념사진이랑 또 뭐 있었더라? 삼조씨?
연구와 관련된 기밀 문서가 있었습니다.
받기보다는 받은 것을 가져오고 싶은 것이었나?
아, 맞다. 그것도 빼먹었네요.
그냥 급하게 몸뚱이만 건사해서 온 수준이구만.
동랑 저 자식은 태어나서 주먹질 한 번 안 해봤을걸? 속 편한 놈이야. 나처럼 해결사들이라도 데려가든가.
슈렌느 씨, 그쪽 부서도 가시는 겁니까? 이번 작전에 성공한다고 해서 당신 부서는 아무 이득이 없을 텐데요.
동료 셋이 죽었어. 지난번 그 테러로. 이득이랑 손해만 따지면서 움직이기엔 나도 많은 걸 잃었다는 소리야.
슈렌느 씨, 그렇다면 저 해결사분들 출장 비용은 슈렌느 씨 부서에서 지급해주는...
언제까지고 재수 없는 놈들이네 진짜.
탈환해야 할 로보토미 지부는 이곳에서 멀지 않은 위치에 있습니다. 다 같이 이동하시죠.
여러분들이 타고 온 버스 저도 한번 타보고 싶었는데 아쉽네요.
다음에 태워드리겠습니다. 얼른 출발하시죠.
어? 누구 마음대로? 그래서 말이야, 내가 딱 칩을 건 다음에 이렇게 말한 거야. 올인.
아, 그만 듣고 싶어. 없던 멀미가 생겼다고.
역시 제2사 카지노에서는 도리도리 포크만한 게 없죠. 죽치고 슬롯 머신을 하는 놈들은 죄다 머저리예요.
뭐야? 슬롯 머신에 뭐 뒤가 구린 거라도 있는 거야?
이건 진짜 아무에게도 안 알려준 정보인데.
잠깐, 좀 더 자세히 말해봐.
맘, 들, 안.
Yeah, and he gains power based on the amount of bleed he has on himself. Oh, 10 out of 10. You got your that's your first discard character, Hanafuda. And Jikan actually has the unique property of he gives like up to 5 power, I think, like a batshit insane. Maybe it's 3. Like he gives a ludicrous amount of power. But you gotta be bleeding for it. It's his entire deal. But now here's the real question that will, of course, determine whether or not you're allowed to breathe. Which floor are you using? Who is your floor of choice? Okay, based. All right, fair enough. Good luck on that one. Hell yeah. All right, acceptable answer. I will say though that
의뢰를 수행하려 온 건지 놀러 온 건지.
that every single floor has like sauce. Every single floor has something they can do that is like their main thing. So that way you never have to worry about like, oh, but this character's like not viable. Everyone can do something.
하지만 적어도 이곳의 환상체들은
Some of them
없을
are like
거예요.
better than others, and some of them are like
다행이랄까요?
ease of access, but everyone can like beat the game, for example. You never need to worry about picking the wrong floor. Just use your
사실
favorite.
처음에 환상체라는 것들을 보았을 땐 충격의 연속이었어요.
Some of them just have very different playstyles than one another,
참
like damn.
하이브리드 했다고나 할까요? 사람의 무의식을 이용한 신에너지 개발이라니. 저로서는 상상도 못할 발상이었습니다.
Rude, but fair. Some of them only come together when you start getting more Abno pages. Like some of them, like their first Abno or two, are just worthless to their main
인간의
strategy.
시대는 끝나가고
Some of them
있다고
take a while to get going, you know.
지금은 최우수한 두뇌의 시대죠.
Like I can tell you,
그걸
oh,
마음으로
well,
깨달은 자들은
never mind.
아직 많이 없기도 하고요. 그러니 당신들이 합류해줘서 제가 얼마나 기뻤는지 모를 거예요.
I don't want to give too many tips away. Every floor has something that they can do.
인기척이 들리군요.
I already gave you a freebie with the paralysis being God tier, SS tier plus, meta hard carry tier shit. You're not getting anything more out of me. For now. Give me 5 minutes and I'll have forgotten.
팔 배터리 교체 했었나?
I guess I can say this, though. Fair enough. So, when I did say that every floor is equally viable, if you have noticed that, You can just type in the search bar ranged. I think that fixes it. But I will say though, if you may not have noticed it yet, but you can actually see what every floor requires to get up to the next upgrade. Like, oh, you need to get this book or perform Y action. It's an unfortunate circumstance, but they always go bottom top. So like, whenever you get like a new breakthrough and everyone starts upgrading, it'll go Malkuth first, then Yasod, then Hod I think is next, then Netzar. The problem with that is that because Roland exists on the... shit, what was his floor? It was... Keter. Because he exists on the Keter floor, he will always get his buffs last. So he is unfortunately the worst. But the only time that becomes relevant is when you're like really late game, you know? And you start having to do just like a laundry list of things. Like everyone beneath him has to get their sauce before he can get his. He's just like the final guy to get like served at the table. He's what a lot of people consider to be hard mode. Like he's totally fine for like a lot of the game, but like eventually there'll get to be a point where like Malkuth will have like 2 abnormalities ahead of him kind of thing, you know? Yeah. It's not always in a straight order, but like just generally. Eventually there will start being quests like, oh, like get to the 4th abnormality of like the floor below, you know? Stuff like that. Like that. Those quests do appear randomly. And so you will eventually get like fully stuck on Roland's floor. They're still the boys though. Roland floor absolute ace. I put Bong Bong there and never forgot it.
시동 걸어볼까?
Yeah. So, you need to do every single thing before you can get him.
시동 걸어볼까?
You don't know what Bong Bong is? I'm fixing this cardinal fucking sin. I'm explaining it here. I will reveal Bong Bong and I will give you the lore. I thought I had just a picture of Bong Bong playing it. It's probably in my thumbnail, so give me a second. It's probably in my thumbnail file. Here's just a picture of Bong Bong. Let me see here. It's not like fan art. There's a bajillion fan art. This is Bong Bong. Bong Bong, so this is a history lesson here. So when Lobotomy Corporation was first coming out, the game didn't have an official translation, because the game's in Korean, obviously. So what happened is that the game had started to get a little bit more popular, and eventually a fan patch had come out that, like, fan translated the game, and that started circulating around online. Because it's like a fan patch, it's not like an official translation. People had to, like, port it around themselves. The problem with, though, is that the way that the game was patched is that it was like a save file that was being parroted around. However, in Lobco, RNG values are determined by your save file. So what happened is that whenever you got the official fan translation, or like the fan translation, and you loaded up the save, the RNG seed for your agents that you would create, a la the librarians you're dealing with right now, they would be set. And so whenever someone started the game, the very first agent every single person got in Lobco was this agent named Bong Bong. B-O-N-G, like a bong. Bong Bong. And this is back in the days with, like, Darkest Dungeon, and for people who really like to hold on to their starting unit, because it's a game where, like, everyone dies. But Bong Bong is the unit that everybody has. It's almost like a forced encounter. You're not just gonna let Bong Bong die. And so a lot of the time, Bong Bong got a lot better than the rest of your units. And all of a sudden, Bong Bong's hard carrying you through large chunks of the game because a lot of people wouldn't let Bong Bong die. And because everyone had Bong Bong, Bong Bong got extremely popular. Bong Bong became so popular, the devs have actually, teased at her existing in this game just to, rug pull the shit out of us. It got so bad that they were, acknowledged when Ruina had come out. Everyone immediately started putting guides on Steam how to make Bong Bong. Because by the time the game got an official translation for Lobco and then Ruina came out, you weren't forced to get Bong Bong anymore. But people immediately are like, no, this is wrong. This is incorrect. The timeline is fractured. Sin is raping among the lands. And they immediately went out to remake Bong Bong, no matter what. And so there have been... I talked about it in the chicken episode, but I'm almost certain it's why the chickens are called bongies. Because when the game's files first started coming out, people were data mining to see what was oh, new content's finally covered. Let's see what's going on in here. And they saw files just named Bong. And immediately everyone loses their shit that we might get an actual canonical appearance of Bong Bong. And the fucking bastards. It only lasted a few days. That was a very brief clip note of Limbus Company history. But this is Bong Bong. Bong Bong is the ultimate fan character. That is so funny and stupid. You're right. That's who Bong Bong is. There's so much fan art of Bong Bong. And it's almost always 100% Bong Bong is hyper confident, but also is a cute little anime girl, you know? Bong Bong also apparently can't talk and can only say the word Bong Bong. These are all, of course, canon, I guess. Canon events into Bong Bong lore. So you bet your ass I made Bong Bong in my Library of Ruina stream through and put her on Roland's floor, cause you gotta put him with the boy. I gotta have fan art of her somewhere. I mean I have this. It's more of a meme. See, this is just a joke about one sin from Lobco. But who is the agent working with one sin? It's Bong Bong. It just works. As God himself had intended. Bong Bong, the ancient ritual of Bong persists.
어제 톱날을 열심히 손본 보람이 있네.
힘들군. 그러니 알아서 힘들군. 그러니 알아서 잘 피해야지.
You're a bastard. It's okay. I understand. I just think less of you as a person. It's not about embracing it. It's about knowing that your team's gonna be inoptimal. The meta has passed you by. Bong Bong, lack of Bong in the team is sin. Okay. Bullet, please stop posting weird Bong Bong things in my DMs.
안심해.
I know you're lurking in the fucking stream right now. Now he's doing weird shit to my DMs. Call out posts. And they are weird Bong Bong things. There you go. We're contacting people at home. Hello, melted machine.
우리가 혹시라도 겁먹고 튄 거라고 생각할 것 같아. 열받아서 목소리로나마 전한다. 이제부터 중요한 이야기를 할 거니까 잘 들어. 긴장감을 가속하기 위한 침묵. 좋아. 바로 너희는 무가치한 지렁이라는 거야. 그래, 바로 그거야. 너희는 그저 지렁이라고.
맥 빠지는군. 기껏 집중하고 있었더니.
Wait, don't. Speaker with a grumble. I'm half paying attention. I'm partially on my phone for some of these cutscenes. But I'm not gonna let that fucking shit slide. I see that. Alright, carrying on with our regularly scheduled program. Oh, I'm dying.
기계의 온도가
Was it time for me to get a cold again and not stream or upload for a full week and a half?
어머, 그렇네요. 전형적인 압력 폭발의 전조 증상이죠.
맞아요. 그리고 그렇다는 말은
아이씨, 그 정신 나간 기계에서 당장 떨어지라고!
시간도 얼마 없었을 텐데 함정까지 정성스럽게 설치했나 보네요. 존경스럽네요. 이렇게 된 거 설계자 얼굴을 꼭 보고 싶을 정도예요.
숙명이죠.
Fantastic. Who put terrorists in my robots? Oh, and I will also say that I had to I did forcibly in my Lobco stream, even though I was not the one playing the game, I made Fours make Bong Bong in Lobco. As the ritual persists. I mean, everyone always has their own librarians, of course. I'm not saying you need to replace them or anything like that. It's gonna happen. Like, everyone's gonna get attached to their own personal nuggets, but I'm just saying there is, like, if there's ever, like, fan art or, like, fan works or something like that, if they ever need to represent just, like, a random agent or librarian a la Nuggets, they will usually be depicted as Bong Bong, because it's just a solid artistic shorthand. Because if you're drawing a random Nugget, people are going to be like, I don't know who this is. But if you draw Bong Bong, people are like, oh, I got it. I understand now. Which, yes, because agents and librarians are both, like, assistant librarians are kind of a mouthful for your player characters. They're just called Nuggets. Why did the term Nugget come up? I'm not entirely certain. I mean, that was Yuri's entire story. Yuri was someone working at a side L-Corp branch. And then everyone was super hyped that we got, like, a nugget in the story. So, like, when the game first launched and people saw Yuri, they're like, oh, dude, a canon nugget! Yeah. Well, what happened to the main branch? That's a spoiler, I'm not allowed to say that. Nugget cunt. Everyone adores Nuggets. Like, Nuggets are always fan favorite characters. In, like, anything. People adore their little fucking bastards. And I gotta say, I agree. They've been through some shit, let's be honest. Your assistants have gone through the fucking trenches for you in both games. They deserve the recognition. Faust is dead. Oh. Me and the boys. I've never seen the Otis one, but yeah, looking good, team. How's it going? I'm glad to see Tremor is working out for us.
시동 걸어볼까?
이번에는 떠나지 마라. 이번에는 떠나지 마라.
So far, they've only hit enemies? Okay, this one's AoE, never mind. Oh, we have broken the game. There we go. So yeah, all of this corrosion's actually only been good to us thus far. I mean, except for the fact that they're hitting great Merceau. He'll be fine. We fucked up those robots. Yeah, get him, Gregor. You show him. He's gonna get too much surgery and die, maybe.
장애물을 지금 부른다.
Oh yeah. Oh, and he hit the right target both times.
장애물을 지금 부른다.
And then Merceau dies. You ever just punch a man? You ever just punch a robot twice and then your body explodes? Hate it when that happens.
상당히 즐거워 보이는데.
Final augment. Turn start, gain 3 attack power up, defense power up, and haste. Die in 3 turns. He'll get there. He'll be fine.
한바탕
We
해볼까?
don't talk about it.
일이 끝나갈 줄 보이 하나
Can't die if 3 turns don't pass. That's why it's a big risk to actually up-tie Screw Loose Wallop. I did it a long time ago just because I always liked the surgery mechanic, and it let Merceau, like, any of his IDs, like, doing, like, 40% more damage, even at the cost of 40% of your max HP. It, like, completely changes the identity of Merceau. Instead of him being a tank, he's now, like, a glass cannon, and I thought that was super cool. But now you just... Sometimes you just gotta act like you don't know nobody and then blow up. You know, these things, they just happen sometimes. It's at the top of that, like, it's at the bottom of that, like, Pavlovian needs pyramid blowing up.
그러니까 너희가 내 기계를 2번째로 죽인 거네. 그렇지? 어디 보자.
Didn't you blow up?
너희는
Did we see this cutscene? Oh, I don't know.
괜찮아, 괜찮아. 이런 걸로 울컥하지 마, 그래.
별 생각 안 했어.
그러니까
This is what I get for not paying full
그렇게
attention.
계속 발발발 기어다니기만
Because I
하라고.
thought we did this one.
바닥에 몇만 속 편하게 기어다니면 하늘 따위 올려다볼 필요도 없잖아.
파악했다. 작동을 멈추면 자동으로 녹음된 목소리가 재생된 후 수준으로
Okay, no, so this is a new one. They're mentioning the
무슨
explosion.
의도로 제작되었는지는 불명이나 기계들은 모두 동일한
I would honestly
메커니즘으로
recommend
구성되어
shopping around, for lack of a better term. Just use multiple floors just to get a feel for their systems and mechanics. They're all fun. I mean, there's some that you'd find less preferable, but they've got sauce. And having beaten that game, however, I think 3 or 4 times now, and I've used like every floor up to now, like for like a solid chunk of the game, they got sauce. Oh yeah. Feel free to shop around.
응? 뭐야? 너 왜 그래?
네, 속이 조금 메스꺼워져서 크게 신경 쓰지 않으셔도 돼요. 이제 괜찮아요.
저 그런데 기술 해방 연합 단체는 어떤 성격을 띤 단체인가요?
그딴 건 왜 궁금해하는 건가? 이름만 그럴듯한 테러 조직일 뿐. 우리가 그 가치관까지 알아야 할 필요는 없는 것 같은데.
알아두면 도움이 될지도 모르는 거잖아요. 오티스 씨?
저도 아는 바는 그다지 없습니다. 다만 K사 연구소 출신인 분 중 하나도 이곳의 주요 멤버로 있다고 들었습니다. 제가 입사하기 전이라 잘 알지는 못하지만 그분도 지금의 동랑님처럼 최우수 직원상을 수여받은 연구원이었습니다.
뭐야? 그런 걸 네가 어떻게 알아?
우수 직원 트로피실에서 이름을 보았거든요. 그곳에 있는 이름들은 당연히 전부 알아둬야 하는 거 아니었나요?
거긴 왜 자꾸 들여다보는 거야?
최우수 직원씩이나 되었던 자가 왜 테러 조직에 가담을...
아까 잠깐 보시지 않았나요? 저희 연구실을 신나게 박살내고 계시던 분을. 딱 저와 슈렌느가 입사했을 무렵 뭐랄까 꽤 회사의 유명 인사였죠. 건너들은 바로는 K사 기술의 한계까지 시험해보고 싶다고 하셨다네요. 어느 날 돌연히 연구소를 그만뒀다는 소문이 돌았었죠. 그 종착지가 이곳이라는 말과 함께.
So, remember, you're gonna keep getting more. Abno cards, the main benefit of some of them is that they stack. It's not that, like, each individual one is particularly good, it's that you get, like, a bunch of them, you know? Because if you haven't noticed, every time you get a new abnormality fight, you're able to equip one more card. So if you've only fought one abnormality, you can only equip one card. But then, when you beat your second abnormality, you can equip 2 cards, and then 3 cards, and so on and so forth. As well as the fact that some of them are just very good on their own, and it's just gonna take some experimentation. Some of it will just come in time as experience grows. Like, I can guarantee you, without giving any specifics, one of your floors, their first or second abno is cracked. And I'm not gonna give any more details.
그곳까지 무사히 도착해서 놓고 온 제 짐들을 챙기고 나면 말씀드린
Like you can do some
황금가지의 소유권을
sauce with
넘겨드릴게요.
just that already.
찜찜하게 마무리될 것 같은데 괜찮은 거야? 결국 그 테러 조직들은 코빼기도 비추지 않고 다 튀어버린 것 같은데.
계약의 내용은
That's always a
연구실의
fun. It's
탄환이었으니까요.
very good. Good example. That one's actually cracked.
그래서 누누이 말하지 않았습니까,
It's exactly like
동랑님?
the surgery thing that
계약서를
Merceau
작성할
just did.
때는 좀 더 저희에게
If you can
유리하도록
win in 3 turns,
꼼꼼하고
it's
냉철한
top tier,
정신머리로
S
작성해야
tier,
한다고요.
fantastic. But then you know, bad things happen.
조심하십시오, 관리자님. 전방에 누군가 있습니다. 무기는 소유하지 않았지만 관리자님은 연약하게 그지없는 민간인이지 않습니까?
숫자 계산 안 되니?
Yeah,
딱
fair
봐도
enough.
너희가 압도적으로 많잖아. 호들갑은.
I mean, that's how I did in my
많이
first
지렁이
playthrough.
돼?
I just did the no grind on my stream just because that's
기계에서 흘러나오던
grinding is not
목소리예요.
fun on stream.
그리고
There has to be some concessions I'm willing to make. I normally like to play my
다른
games
조직원들은
unmodded, but
어디 있나요?
sometimes you gotta make that judgment call for an audience.
난리통에 지원군까지 끌고 왔나
Not the
보네.
case for everybody, obviously.
그리고 우리가 봤으면 얼마나 봤다고 선배래?
Or I would
딱
just do
보면
it off
모르겠니?
stream, but then that's like I don't have a whole lot of free time nowadays, so
다
I couldn't really do
대피했지.
that either.
그리고 나는 열심히 시간을 끄는 중이고.
흥미롭네요.
Not surprised.
급습했다고
That's the first thing people
생각했는데
talk about.
어떻게 알고
Oh no, please feel free to watch it in excruciating detail.
너네가 지렁이라서 그렇지.
It's the only way you'll be able to appreciate
이것
it.
봐. 고작 최우수 직원상 한 번 받았다고 기고만장해서는
Please
감히
feel
우리를
free to
잡으려고
enjoy.
기세등등 쳐들어왔잖아.
혀가 기네. 감히는 무슨 감이냐? 네 말대로 숫자를 봐. 순순히 항복하는 게 좋을 거라는 건 안 봐도 알겠지?
내가 항복한다 치자. 너희의 계획은 안 봐도 뻔하지. 나를 딱 죽지 않을 만큼만 무력화시킨 다음에 그 잘난 재생 앰플로 치료를 해주고 원하는 답을 얻을 때까지 같은 짓을 반복하겠지.
그럼 저희가 원하는 답을 한 번에 내주면 그만일 텐데요. 안 되려나?
당연하지. 우리는 너희와는 다르게 고작 주는 먹이만 받아먹으면서 살아남으려는 바퀴벌레 따위를 목표로 하지 않으니까.
자꾸 성질 돋우네.
아, 이제 놀아주는 것도 질렸다.
지금 뭐 하는?
그래. 그렇게 당장 눈앞에서 벌어지는 일에만 실컷 궁금해하면서 살아가. 그게 연구자의 올바른 자세지.
선배,
동랑님 무사하십니까?
It's going well.
단테 씨 쪽 일행이 폭발음이 들리자마자 절 밀쳐줬어요. 그 말 수 없고 눈을 무섭게 뜨고 다니던 분 말이에요.
저도 구하려고 했습니다. 다만 거리가 살짝 모자랐을 뿐이고요.
아, 아슬아슬했네요.
망설임 없이 몸을 던질 수 있었던 건 언제든지 되살아날 거라는 믿음이 깔린 덕택이겠죠?
It's okay, they're twins.
어떤 마음이나 정 같은 것 때문이 아니라
And their mother was very bad at naming people. They only come up with one.
관리자를 지키고 회사의 임무를 무사히 수행시키는 게 내게 주어진 일이었다.
역시 그런 거겠죠. 편리하네요. 재생 앰플 없이도 몸을 수복할 수 있다는 건.
아 맞다. 슈레인느 씨도 괜찮으십니까? 다른 해결사분들은요?
저희는 끄떡없네요.
폭발 충격은 전부 너희 쪽이 받아준 덕분에 이쪽은 큰 피해가 없어. 그래서 재생 앰플을 계속 맞지 않았던 거구나. 저 시계가 특별한 능력이 있었던 거였어.
맞습니다. 제가 철저한 검증과 조사로 모셔오신 분들이니까요.
그래. 나 참 기껏 가져온 앰플들이 쓸모 없어졌잖아.
시계 대가리 뭘 미적거리고 있어. 저 노란 꼬맹이 죽는다. 빨리 돌려. 이거 진짜 더럽게 아프다고.
I think we got time for one more. Especially because we're skipping another 2 nodes. Alright. Also, it is still very fun to take note of, despite the fact that after this we'll be after... Nice. We're 20 nodes in and we're actually only at part 1. Because this is when chapters start getting broken up into parts. Dear God. Fucking... Oh, I don't have Enkephalin. Yeah, we have time. Alright, I'll use a box. It's only for 1 node, but I'll be fine. Gotta use the boxes anyway, and them being turned into modules isn't gonna hurt me.
잠깐만.
But,
천천히.
God, chapter 4 is just so bloated with nodes. My lord.
자, 맞서보죠. 한바탕
Yeah,
해볼까?
I'm also very glad that they effectively just entirely removed the concept of ranged die in this game. Primarily because it just wouldn't work, but also because they're bad.
가서 끝장내죠.
Like, they had, starting from the beginning of the game, units that use bullets, and they just don't have to get rid of those cards forever. Someone managed to make the discard strategy work, which is funky, but...
효과적이네요, 저것들.
There's a few more strategies from Ruin I'm very hyped to see, but you haven't gotten to them yet. So I will refrain.
어제 톱날을 열심히 손본 보람이 있네.
사냥이 성공적이었네요. 이 흐름대로 사냥을 끝내러 가보죠.
그렇지.
아니, 말을 아끼죠.
걸려라.
I think most, not all of them. Because some of them I think were like backer rewards. Because yeah, Lobco was a game that was actually crowdsourced, like kickstarted or some such like that. And there's a few hairstyles that seem to be like specifically references. Like there's a few hairstyles in Lobco that are like pre-colored and you can't really color them. For example, like let's say you have black hair and you're sorting through all the options. One of them will just turn into like a sharp like forest green. One will be a sharp red, and you just can't do anything about that. I do believe those were added but I'm not certain about that. It's actually another interesting thing about Lobco. There's a few abnormalities that people got to actually create the designs for. None of those abnormalities actually made it into Ruina, but they actually brought a few of them back as aberrations in this game, which is so fucking cool. Because a lot of the backer abnos were like sick as hell, and the fact that we can actually start seeing them again is so cool. Man, it's still content in the game, and it's good content. They're usually having to be aberrations. They're not one-to-one. Like, Steam Machine is the clock. I forget what it's called. Yeah. Without giving away any specifics. But whenever you get to Lobco, it's going to be a ways away most likely, and you'll probably not know exactly what the hell I mean. But when you're picking an abnormality in Lobco, normally they are boxes. There will be a few select abnormalities that instead of being in a box, they'll be in like a sphere. Yeah, the ones that are spheres are backer abnos, and are not required to like 100% the game. You never have to pick them, even though they're cool. Yeah. Oh, my throat hurts. I've been gabbing a lot. All right, that's all the time I got for today. But man, this is a long ass chapter. I spent more of this chapter talking about Ruina than I did Limbus, but that's fine. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for blah 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 blah. Outro. I'm lazy.